What's up, Josiah? I saw you post. I saw you commenting on there, bro. I thought I was streaming early. Saw J-Rod's interview, and he's so full of it. Okay. We probably can't. You know, they're gonna for sure copyright that podcast. You know, for sure they won't let me react to that podcast. So we won't react to that because that will get us demonetized and kicked off of YouTube and stuff. So we'll read some stories and stuff, but we're not going to react to it. I'll leave it to you guys to watch it for me. Part of the course for most jiu-jitsu people, though. Get my lips all glossy for you guys. Today is Thursday, Takedown Thursday, so go do a takedown for me. And I just want to let you guys know that I did help out a white belt yesterday. Cousin Tony can tell you, I helped out a white belt yesterday on White Belt Wednesday. So Takedown Thursday, do a takedown for me. Do a wrestling takedown, a judo takedown, or a sambo takedown for me. Gianni hates me. Yeah. Love-hate relationship. He might win Jiu-Jitsu Con now, for sure. He can win an IBJJF, but you know, EBI different. So we got J-Rod, we got J-Rod, we got a little bit of Daddy Dana, Daddy Trump, some Craig Jones on here, not in the stream, but on the videos. Who else we got? A little bit of Gordon, some Kurt Osiander. We got some good stuff today. We're gonna be cooking, and I just place things randomly. My tabs, you know, I have a lot of tabs open, so we'll just do what we can do. I don't think we have any Grippo. Sorry, Josiah. I'm sorry, bro. No Grippo today. He for sure got you blocked. You were for sure blocked by Gianni and possibly Kevon. So we're gonna get into the show. 3 hours. You know, I try to do my 3 hours. So who else streaming 3 hours on Jiu-Jitsu, bro? You know, somebody will take J-Rod, Fight Sports or AOJ. Somebody will take him. We got the BJJ Fanatics podcast with Mr. Ryan and Kurt Osiander. So let's see what they're gonna say. He wants to be picky. Well, you know, my advice to him is that, you know, you don't want to run through your youth messing around. So you only going to be hot and in your prime athleticism for a short period of time, really. So, you know, get on the right path, bro. You can up 2-3 years pass, people forget about you. In this sport, people forget about you fast, you know. They forget about all your world. They forget about all your world championships, all your ADCC championships. They forget about all that stuff you did real quick. And then some Brazilian kid going to come up and take your spot.
Thoughts on that, man? People buying rank.
The only person that I know that went through his belts that fast was BJ. And the only one that I've seen since BJ that was able to do it at an accelerated pace would be about 7 years. I did 10 every day, all day, and chores at house.
Health had you doing dishes.
What the heck?
You were like his.
I had to mow the lawn. I had to wash cars. I had to do a lot of things. My apprenticeship was all encompassing indentured servitude.
Health knew how to negotiate your membership there. That was well done.
He leveraged it. So needless to say, I mean, if the guy is really that good, more power to him. If he's that good and got his belt in 3 years, I appreciate how I got my belt because I know that I am a black belt and I'm a good black belt and I suffered a lot and I learned correctly and carry on that kind of like hard style tradition to this day, even though I had to cut back on my swearing.
Which you've not done a very good job of, but we'll pretend you're making progress. Kurt, what are your thoughts on that, man? People buying rank.
The only
He said Marcelo got in 5. Well, 13 to 18, not bad. That's not a bad run. Everybody that got their black belt outside of Moneyberg in that short period of time was good, exceptional. Moneyberg. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Danny Chop, what's up, bro? Happy Takedown Thursday. Low-key saw a white belt versus blue belt super fight a bit ago on Instagram. It was actually pretty entertaining. The white belt was textbook Spaz 2 and 1. Spaz, well, blue belt, blue belt is a more, not always a more technical white belt. It's a more knowledgeable white belt. And that spazziness can beat you. Even now, if I underestimate a new person spazzing, and if you ain't ready for everything to come at you, no Diddy, if you're not ready for everything possible to happen when you're rolling with a new white belt, like anything can happen. So it's a good lesson for everybody to, don't we call it ducking. Don't duck those crazy spazzes too much. That'll keep you honest. You roll with that spaz, and they strong and fast and flipping all over the place. That's a good roll for you guys. As long as you don't get injured, it's a good test for you to see where your jiu-jitsu is. Can you control the average person, a crazy person? And we got it nice. Kurt Osiander over there he had to do laundry and chores to get his black belt. And all you guys got to do is go to class and compete a little bit and roll. I thought it was interesting. We hear the Jet 2 holiday lady voice all the time, but we actually found her.
Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4. Going viral for something just that is really funny and joyful is just like, that's quite a wonderful experience. The one that's out there, the big famous one, I recorded probably about 18 months ago. It was like coming out in January when people are starting to think, oh, I'm going to book my holiday this year. And there was a new campaign. It was the Nothing Beats a Jet 2 holiday line. And I remember we workshopped the line, that's £200 for a family of 4, quite a lot, because we're like, how do we sort of like present that line in a way that's not going to annoy people? Because it's like, well, of course it's £200 for a family of 4. It sort of went quite massive in the UK, and it's been like rolling over for like quite a while, people sending these kinds of memes. But like the American thing, I have just found so mind-blowing, because they don't even know what Jet 2 holidays is. They don't have holidays, they have vacations. Holidays is like Christmas, right? But they just like have got so on board with the joyful silliness of it. It's just, yeah, brilliant. No.
Pretty cool to put the face to the meme. Blue belt was too passive. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it happens, bro. I assure you, by purple belt, you'll be aggressive. Aggression comes back at purple belt. Is that the lady? Yeah, that's the lady. We found her. Cruise ship fight 1. I haven't seen that one. Is it on Instagram or something? The meme. I haven't seen that one, I don't think. It's all good, bro. I think was Craig Jones on here yesterday, and then somebody posted something, but it was like 2 paragraphs. I was like, trying to figure out some complex. Whenever someone tries to describe a jiu-jitsu thing, I'm like, bro, I can't understand it. I need to see it. And he was using different terminology. I was like, what does that mean? Marcelo is still him. Someone asked on Reddit, how good was Marcelo Garcia? So, that's pretty crazy to me. I hear people talk about him in terms of legend. How good was he? Was he a prodigy? How good would he be compared to, say, one of the best Gracies or maybe Gordon Ryan, for example? I mean, Marcelo the GOAT. Gordon's great. It's getting better. It sounds like tuberculosis, but it's gotten a lot better. That's just how dedicated I am. I'm over here coughing up a lung and still streaming. I don't want to hear any excuses from you people online. I can't train. I can't do this. I can't do that. I'm over here, couldn't talk. I'm still streaming. It's gotten a lot better, yeah. I can, talk and breathe and still moving, bro. I'm still, we ain't stopping over here. Someone says consistently considered the GOAT or one of two GOATs. So yeah, that good. Arguably, Marcelo's pound for pound one of the best grapplers in the world. Still. Someone says, why is Marcelo considered the GOAT? Typically, people say Roger or Marcelo as their GOATs because he was really good. Go on YouTube and watch his match versus Rico Rodriguez. He basically popularized and dominated with the open guard. So much of what he invented or innovated is now considered fundamental BJJ. Don't forget he won in the gi 2004, 2006, 2009, 2010, 2011. 2005 got beat by my man Teddy, but I like both guys, Teddy and Marcelo. ADCC 2003, 2005, 2007, 2011. Pretty impressive. How many double goals was that? That's like at least one Grand Slam in there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 world championships. He needs to compete. It can't afford him on EBI. Can't afford him. You're gonna have to pay Marcelo more than $20,000 to beat everybody up. Says yep, and he achieved this arguably in the most competitive weight class. Also, winning your weight division is a bigger achievement at a lot of times than winning the ADCC Superfight or Absolute division. He also won the world championships in blue, purple, brown, and black. With regards to coaching, he is one of the few coaches to ever coach a gi women's and men's absolute champion in Dominica and Bernardo. And as others have mentioned, he pioneered so much of our BJJ these days, even just the backpack grip. On top of that, a really humble, kind, generous human being. You guys don't really know Marcelo, but he is kind from what we see. But a lot of times you don't know these people, and you're assuming that they're all nice and cool. I'm not saying Marcelo isn't, but wait till you meet people. They say don't meet your heroes. That might be true. I would never shut up if I was the one who invented the seatbelt grip. Before him, most people used double underhook. Hopefully I don't have anything in my nose. I don't even think people nowadays know that. Yeah, I forgot seatbelt grip Marcelo popularized that. I've been training 3.5 years and had no idea that the seatbelt was Marcelo's innovation. Didn't he survive stomach cancer in 2023? On top of that, I hope he's back to feeling like himself again. 70% submission rate, pretty amazing. He almost won the absolute. He got beat by my man Robert Drysdale in 2007, but he almost took the absolute as the smallest guy in ADCC. He's good when Danaher teaches all his signature stuff and just slaps Japanese names on them to make him sound intellectual. Yeah, all that straight jacket, shoulder pinch, arm saddle. They done took everything. Ashi Garami. They done took everything from Marcelo and didn't put no name on it. The guillotine variations. Funnily enough, the Danaher guys never mastered that north-south choke. I ain't never see a Danaher guy hit a north-south choke. Counterpoint: Danaher did not slap Japanese names on much. Rather, New School tried to slap American names and sometimes no names to Japanese judo stuff. The Japanese judo stuff that the judo people no longer did or could do anymore. Quite inconsistently and not too well. Danaher just returned to the original, still spoken among millions of judoka. Them judokas ain't doing none of those old techniques. They can't grab the legs. They can't, all that stuff they can't do no more. They can't attack the legs, can't grab the legs. All that stuff they can't do no more. Some Japanese dudes some time ago in here said there are Japanese coaches who have a WhatsApp group dedicated to making fun of Danaher Japanese terminology. Oh, wow. There are American coaches of all kinds too, with all kinds of groups and all kinds of jokes on them. Doesn't matter too much. I live in Asia and I personally don't really like the Japanese terminology. It feels forced when there are already other names for them. I don't mind and fully accept it when it's already tradition, judo, and aikido. I also grew up in Europe and learned Latin as well, the root to most European languages. I never really try to force them into a conversation when there is already an accepted and commonly used word equivalent in the language I speak. So yeah, you could just say armbar. You don't need to say whatever the name is. If you can say Keisuke, you don't need to say. You can say side control. You don't need to say Keisuke Tami or Yoko, whatever. Blah blah blah. We don't speak Japanese over here. Sorry guys if I didn't look at your comment. Bro, you need, yeah, got my cough checked out. What's crazy is a lot of these wrestlers coming into jiu-jitsu have been training for years. You ask them about Marcelo or Hoffa, and they legit have no clue who they are. Crazy. I mean, I think the jiu-jitsu guys, we kind of know who Dan Gable is, Cale Sanderson, Jordan Burroughs. We know who the wrestling guys are. Maybe not the really in-depth guys, but we kind of have more of an understanding of wrestling and the techniques and the history a little bit more than the wrestlers for jiu-jitsu. And, at least we know who Jigoro Kano is and who Kimura was. I know Travis Stevens and Flavio Canto, Kayla Harris. Yeah, I know some of the judo people too. Now, ask the judo people who the Meow Bros or who Hoffa Mendez is or who Hadra Gracie is. They won't know. So, jiu-jitsu people, we tend to be more open, more broad-minded. Oh, that's a cool move. I want to learn some judo now. Oh, that's a cool move. I'm going to learn some wrestling. Systematically stealing the moves, that's a great way to make $1 million. It seems to be working for Danaher. My buddy is probably one of the better examples of a wrestler turning into a jiu-jitsu practitioner and knows a lot of the legends / practitioners coming up. I know a decent bit, but not all. That's good. Well, that's what you're supposed to do. If you take an interest in a sport, you should learn about the athletes. Who are the trendsetters, the legends of the sport? Who's the good coaches? Where are the good teams at? And now, jiu-jitsu has become such a hobby that most people starting jiu-jitsu don't know who Marcelo Garcia is or Hoffa Mendez. Even people that compete. So, to me, that means that they're not really interested in the sport so much. I try to learn a little bit about the sports I'm into. What is the takedown called where you spin under their legs? Spin under? With the arm or the lapel? I'm not sure what the judo name is. The judo got a name for everything. Yoko Sumagaeshi. What the heck was that? We call that like arm spin in wrestling. You could call it like a 2-on-1 arm spin. There's some throws. There's some variations. One where it's like a hip throw, and then one where you like almost like a Kimura from standing on your back. Yeah, okay, like the Kimura one. I'm not sure what the name for that one is. I consider that like a 2-on-1 Russian throw. I don't know exactly the name. Could be an arm spin or some other variation if somebody knows. Tomonage. That might be it. Oh, there you go. Yeah, Mushmaster, he our judo expert for us. Let's see. You look at translations of those Japanese terms and you realize that they are basic, simple to remember terms. You should use the translations because it makes sense, but no, you want to sound like a smarty pants. Smarty pants. Packed filled with historic knowledge passed down from master to student in a far-flung Orient. Helps if you want to change, if you want to charge more for your classes too. I always try and find an Ebigin. My face hole sounds so everyone knows I brain good. Okay, I don't know what that means. Not a JD fan, John Danaher fan, but a huge MG fan, Marcelo Garcia fanboy. But would be a massive understatement to say John Danaher just teaches Marcelo stuff. Marcelo revolutionized no-gi so much that it's impossible to not use his signature stuff. But the JD and DDS took this SLX, single leg X stuff to new heights with leg lock meta. Craig said they were just ahead of the time period at the, when they were really big. And that's usually what most of these teams have an advantage somehow. AOJ, Their advantage is that bolo, crab ride stuff, outside passing. And then some other team will come through and have their own stuff. Or, like when Keenan came up with the warm guard, like all the Atos guys, AOJ used to be a part of Atos, but all the Atos guys were kind of on top of that. And then like Leandro started figuring out how to beat the lapel stuff. So then that became a new meta. You could even say that with Marcelo, the butterfly stuff, the single leg X. People didn't know how to deal with that. If you watch those old matches, people will just fall down when they got in single leg X. But now people know how to beat it. Half the time, I can't tell if it's a Harai Goshi or Oguruma. We got Mushmaster to tell us. Judo people they're gonna remind you when you mess up the wording or the naming. They are essentially the same, just one of the variations is closer to the hip for the throw, I think. Biggest reasons of Marcelo being seen as the GOAT: developed a game that you can use gi or no gi or no gi. Sorry guys. I am getting better, but still taking time. Developed and inspired people to use butterfly guard, X guard, guillotines, and other techniques. Most of these techniques were the base for early no-gi only meta. Won and medal in IBJJF Worlds and ADCC multiple times. Was almost always competing on absolute divisions, challenged and won much bigger people. Is considered to be a bigger person than his achievements as a grappler. Marcelo has really attainable BJJ too. Not really. If you think, I mean, you guys can. Well, nobody's been able to emulate Marcelo. Even what's the kid? What's the kid that trained with him? The white guy. He's in Texas now. I can't remember the kid's name, but even he couldn't really emulate. No, like none of Marcelo's students could really emulate his game perfectly. There's an anime called Lazarus, and the main guy is taking out people with BJJ. He hit one in an episode that was so clean, bro. To animate that and make it look good is crazy. Even the judo community, they argue about which throw is which. I love that. And in Japan, they don't be arguing. It's just the Americans or the Europeans that be arguing. Yeah, they can't agree. Satava, yeah. Even Satava, maybe we'll watch a match of his. Even Satava couldn't really, like, he had a decent butterfly guard and some other stuff, but even he couldn't do what Marcelo did. I think just his mobility, and also, I think he had really fast twitch. Because, like, that arm drag, stuff, he would just do stuff, and it would be so fast. But this guy says most people are physically capable of using the techniques that he perfected. Our timing ain't the same, though. If I'm not sure how I want to teach a technique, I go watch Marcelo do it and teach it. Also, he literally punched above his weight, winning absolutes at big tournaments. Top 3 in no-gi minimum, laid the foundation of no-gi as we know it today. Single leg X, X guard, north-south, guillotines, basically everything. Wrestle up from guard. Anything else? Arm saddle, reverse arm bar, seatbelt, straight jacket. I mean, heck, he did the heel hook from single leg. He did the heel hook from single leg X before everybody. Remember that Rico Rodriguez match when he got angry? Let's see. Marcelo also regularly hit the podium in the absolute category, which while competing as a middleweight, silver and bronze at ADCC, bronze at Worlds, and believe he won a Brazilian Nationals title, absolute title as well. Marcelo and Teddy, 2 of my favorite OGs. Marcelo is the greatest of all time, innovative beyond belief, athletic as all hell, with otherworldly timing and technique. He is the single most influential fighter the sport has ever seen. Jiu-jitsu before, I would throw, who's the guy that came up with the half guard too? I'll throw that guy in there. Marcelo is the GOAT 101, no replicating that, yeah. Super nice guy and best representative for the martial art you could possibly have. Insane skill and dominating in his weight category, and regularly was a true giant slayer in absolute divisions. Always went for the finish and not a boring point fighter. Marcelo wasn't afraid of going up against anybody in any size, including Hodger Gracie. It's like Mika or Tynan challenging Gordon Ryan, but you never see that in modern era. Yeah, they don't really do absolutes. Mika did, but he doesn't do well. Now Mika and Tynan, if you're a middleweight or lightweight, they're gonna destroy you. But if you're a little bit bigger, you probably will survive. Let's see. So what thread is this? On Reddit or BJJ. Oh, never mind. I scrolled back. Okay, remember he took several years off, came back and still dominated. Yeah, I guess when he fought MMA, I mean, heck, he won his one championship fight against Eminari, even though Eminari was too small to be out there fighting. So to answer the question, how good was Marcelo Garcia? He was great. And we still want to see him fight Wagner Hosha. Wagner dirty though. A dirty fighter. I like Wagner. Shout out Wagner. Don't stick no thumbs near me, bro. Keep them thumbs away from me. Let me skip this. We got Taynor. They've been doing some cool stuff. You know, the Rotulos are sponsored by them, and I think Nate Diaz or somebody. So they've been doing some cool stuff you don't really see with these MMA brands. Hello, what's going on? They got some ladies over here. What's up, girls? And they got some fine models. But let's stay on track. That's cool. If you guys don't remember Taynor, he's the guy that used to own Ruka, the CEO. He basically gave that school to the Mendez brothers. So if you're an AOJ fan, there would be no AOJ without Ruka and Taynor. That's not the Diaz brothers, some other guy. Maybe they skate. I don't know. They are from California. But that's cool. I mean, their brand's kind of expensive. I think that's someone's backyard, bro. that's Taynor's backyard. You know, Taynor got some money. So he recently, I guess he sold his Ruka to, you know, whatever investment guys. So now he started Taynor. Seems cool. Now it's expensive. Maybe you guys got more money than me, but it's a little expensive though. UFC. Look at the UFC marketing. Do you guys like the UFC's marketing? I mean, they ain't spending no money on marketing. Dana White said, I need another yacht or something. Jason Whitfield says, sometimes people are just different. Marcelo spoke about how much he likes scrambling. It's thought that people who scramble a lot are not as technical. He showed you can be both. Well, Marcelo had the gift to be able to just react. His reaction time so fast that he just made the right decisions during those scrambles, and I can't really name too many scrambles he lost. Like, usually a scramble is 50-50, right? But his scrambles was like 90-10. 10% that you would win and 90% he was going to get you. So I'm not certain if he still has that ability. You know, that was like really good athleticism and stuff. But yeah, like you scramble with him, it was just like, it wasn't worth it. So if you wanted to beat Marcelo, the only people that could beat Marcelo, usually bigger people or people that could contain him in the close guard, like Jacare got him that one time with the Kimura. And that's why Marcelo don't like the Kimura. Drysdale got him because Marcelo was attacking too much, and Hodger just got him because he was bigger. But you know, Marcelo was hard to beat. Everything is expensive now. I almost want to buy the shorts wholesale that get a heat press thing. Heat press, make my own. No lie, to play Operation and not have it buzz needs to be on the medical school final. I mean, she is a doctor, so she probably can't do all that. Let's watch it.
The operation game. What I'm gonna do is take out his heart without touching the metal. Like this. I graduated from medical university at 2018. What is my doctor job about? Consist a lot of office work. In China, we have a little bit different system than what you guys used to in the West. My job is seem like a family doctor. I failed the game. Lucky I'm not the surgeon. I'm still working as a doctor at hospital every day, 5 days per week. Then after my daily job, I went to a wrestling class at night. Okay, successful. I saved his life. Don't miss my UFC fight this Friday at RTU.
Yeah, even cancer couldn't beat Marcelo. Someone says they like my face. It's the same face, the same face in every thumbnail. You look surprised and ready when you were in school. What I was about to say, if you're fighting in the UFC, don't quit your day job. She's like, I'm still working 5 days a week at my office job as a doctor. So she can't even in China, and the cost of living in China is not the same as in America. And she's still working her regular job. You can't even be a professional athlete in the UFC and not have to work, whatever you're doing. And that's smart. That UFC might cut her tomorrow, but her job as a doctor that's for her whole career. She can have that job. So I'm hoping the other fighters take note of that. And that's why they be hollering for fights. Daddy Dana, let me fight Dana. Let me fight me. Pick me, Daddy. Shanghai is very expensive. Okay. Yeah, but comparatively, what's the cost of living over there? Where in China is that where she's from? Oh, that's where she's from. Okay. Well, Shanghai is expensive. Are you sure? Compared to some of these American cities, I don't know, but even then, UFC, that money really ain't really going that far for her. That's wild. And them Dagestani guys, they be good with $20,000. They can buy a farm and cows and have a couple wives with that. She can operate on herself. That's good too. Yeah, I don't know how much she makes per fight. We're back on Reddit. It says, would you guys say Gordon Ryan is the second best jiu-jitsu coach ever? How is he in the argument? He just started teaching. For real. I mean, I'm sure he did private lessons and stuff. I've never heard somebody say they're a Gordon Ryan student. There's always, I'm a Danaher student. I don't think Gordon Ryan's in the discussion for best coach. He ain't who he coach. I mean, he'll coach at a tournament, but he's not what I would consider coaching. I moved to Dagestan with you. Let's go, brother. Me and you, black belt and white belt. We could fight. I'm about to say Chimaev. He's from Chechnya. Islam and Khabib. Everybody's a Khabib. Nurmagomedov. Everybody got Madoff in their name. Let me read this a little bit. It says, but can Gordon teach? Not all great athletes can teach or connect with students. Ain't that the truth? Gordon says, I'm the second best coach to ever live. No. No, wait. How is he the best coach? And that's considering Danaher's the best coach. I didn't say Danaher was the best coach. Is he a good coach? I think so, but I don't think he's the best coach. It says, I honestly have no idea, but his instructionals are very well structured, and I think he explains things quite well. So at minimum, I can't talk. So at minimum, I would say he's a good coach. It says, everyone knows Craig is number 2 at everything. Craig seems to be like a good coach. I mean, he held B team together for a long time. How is that possible? How would you measure this? What are the metrics? RateMyProfessor.com. And we always, I saw something really good, but we always consider the champions, the number of champions, to be the measure of a good coach. But honestly, it should be how you've impacted people, really, if you're a best coach. Because coaching is not just about results. I know we think that's the case, but I think coaching, being an instructor, is a little bit more involved, you know. Because, I mean, you're not just there for the tournament. You're there for life events. You're there through depressions and plateaus. You're there to pick people up. You're there when people aren't consistent. You got to call people. You're there to motivate people. You're there to sign people up. You're there to push people past their limits. So, yeah, I think you're probably not even going to see most of the best coaches. You know, they're probably not even on social media like that, you know? Yeah, I don't consider the best coach the one with the most world champions or the best athletes. Because if that's the case, you would just focus on your athletes. You wouldn't focus on your whole school, your whole academy. Is that a good coach? If I just focus on the most talented people and I say screw everybody else, he lost a tournament, you know, screw that kid. That's not good coaching to me. Or they're telling these kids to take these supplements if they want to be a world champion. That's not a good coach to me. You making people have risky behavior. That's not a good coach to me. So I think we got different definitions of good coach. Let's see. It says, bro, no lie, I would never quit my job just to show up on Monday with a shiner wheezing. Surprisingly, my coworkers and managers think it's cool I do BJJ Muay Thai for some weird reason. I mean, yeah, they think you're crazy. Like, this dude likes to get hurt. Your regular person doesn't want to ever get hurt. They don't want to have to breathe hard or work out hard or none of that stuff. Gordon's privates are 1K. Yeah, I mean, I'm not paying for that. That's next level glazing. Yep. Gordon produces black belts like Moneyberg. Yeah. Facts. Like Tyson and Custom Auto, perfect combo. Yeah. I'm not sure what the metric for a best coach is, but I don't think it's that cut and dry. Says, this seems like one of the few actually measurable skills. How many of your students get to the top of the sport? Danaher gets cred because he's taken a lot of people to ADCC gold from nothing. And even take Giancarlo. Did Danaher take Giancarlo from nothing to gold? Or was Giancarlo already really good? And never focused on Nogi until he started training with Danaher and those guys. I'm not saying Danaher is not bad, but if you guys were at Renzo Gracie, like say you just happen to be a coach at Renzo Gracie's, you have access to 1,000 people. You're telling me you can't find about 5 or 10 people that are going to be really good and help nurture them? I think it's just I don't want to say luck, but it's just numbers game. You got 1,000 people coming through Renzo Gracie, New York City. 10 of those people are going to be amazing out of 1,000. Anybody, if you're just there, you're a good coach. I'm a great coach because the athletes were already there. Same thing, AOJ. Some of these places, the best people go there. They don't have to do any. I mean, they did do a lot of work, but now it's easy. People know the school's good. They just go there. If they get to a high enough level. It says in the engineering office, I guess I'm cool. Yeah. It says, luckily, if I ever show up to my job with a black eye, which was a few weeks ago, everyone pretty much knows the deal. Long shark chasing you around. Danaher has to be good because that's the only way he can participate in the sport anymore. But he's not the best. It's just highlighted because it's all he can do. And I think also the time where he started to blow up, they were ahead of the meta. They knew the leg lock games better than everybody back then. And then you got to take into account social media and flow grappling. So everything kind of worked to push Danaher to where he was. Because before the social media and stuff, what was Danaher doing? He was just struggling in the blue basement, right? He was just struggling. Struggling in blue basement, leg messed up, knees fucked up, hips messed up. And it wasn't until BJJ Fanatics came around that he started making real money. So what, he was in his 30s or 40s and he's still just struggling in New York City? Did he take anybody from white belt to black belt? Because even Gary Tonin and Gordon, they were from Tom DeBlas, right? And they would travel to the city to go train, just to have, high level training partners and stuff. Yeah, if you want to argue white to black belt, I probably got to throw Lloyd Irvin in there. I don't know if you can even bring up the maybe now you can bring up AOJ, because they brought some people from lower belts to kids belts to adult belts. Most of these athletes travel. They've traveled, switched teams, and that's just the way it is. Someone says he coached Giancarlo Bodoni to win ADCC trials for the 2022 ADCC, for example. And the fact that Danaher would claim Giancarlo's is wild to me, because Giancarlo was already good. He was already a black belt. How are you gonna take me? Giancarlo was already a black belt. He was already a black belt. Giancarlo was already a black belt before he went to Boston and then to Danaher. Gordon was already training at Tom DeBlas. Tom DeBlas don't really take no credit either. He had Gary Tonin in and Gordon. Yeah. Carlson Gracie, Jacare, Fabio, Lloyd Irvin, yeah. They took a lot of people from kids program to black belt world champions, yeah. Do I know any good gyms in Hong Kong? I've never been to Hong Kong. I really want to go though. I've been to Taiwan, but I know it's a different place. Joseph Chin did a seminar there. Check it out. I don't know if it's any good though. Lloyd was so good, Brazilians came to the States to train, yeah. I'm sure he helped a lot of Brazilians get down here. We got some videos of Lloyd Irvin training at in Atlanta back in the day, because Jacare was like the only black belt. He had to travel from Maryland down south. It says, yeah, but assuming Gordon is claiming to be second best after Danaher, any successful student he is claiming to have coached will also likely be coached by Danaher. He coached Giancarlo to win. Who? Gordon coached Giancarlo to win? No. He is only starting to coach regularly his team. You will see the results soon. We'll see. What happens when Danaher is not there? I don't know if that school will be able to stick together. I don't think Gordon can keep a school together. Maybe I'm wrong, though. I agree with him. He is probably one of the most knowledgeable guys out there and will do great things as an instructor if he puts his efforts onto this and not selling flip-flops or other stupid BS. Gordon's favorite place is undoubtedly the chair, instructing another man to finish first, and a true humble and giving king. I've been to one of his seminars, but he was in a wheelchair because he had knee surgery, and he was very good at teaching. Yeah, you guys glazing him. If I had a seminar and I'm in a wheelchair, they would cancel me. Nah, we're not going to pay for you, Alec. So based on what? I don't know. I'm not sure what they're basing anything on. It's all delusion. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how he's thinking that. Says, did you watch the new J-Rod podcast on Jits and Giggles? Yeah, I probably can't react to that. They got that hot podcast up. They for sure gonna copyright strike us. So I won't be reacting to that. We won't watch it on my channel because they will take me down. That's happened a couple times on YouTube where, you know, the channel goes black, the video goes black on you guys. And so we ain't going to do that. We might read a couple articles or whatever, but we can't react to it. We got Mr. Teddy Reiner. We've been following him since Mushmaster kind of brought him up. He out here living life, man.
Au V, j'essaie de prendre mes plus belles vagues avec mon fils.
Hey.
You got it! Yeah! Yeah!
À la fin, j'en pouvais plus.
Tired?
So everybody got a house once Craig Jones left. Everybody's getting a big house through jiu-jitsu. I hope they can pay that mortgage. Even $1 million ain't too much. You know, in my city, $1 million ain't too much. You still in a, you know, you still, I mean, J-Rod basically, he's still cool with everyone at B-Team and AI. Corn was a rumor and fake. Of course he said that was a rumor and fake. He wasn't going to admit to that. We might, yeah, we'll get into J-Rod too. Don't worry. I put him on the thumbnail for a reason. I'm happy to see people having a house and not being homeless and being able to take care of themselves. You know, I hope I hope the top guys in the sport, top coaches, top competitors in the sport can afford a place to live. You know, I don't want them to be in the shoebox. So I'm happy, you know. Yeah, I'm happy, you know. I want to see people be successful. We got some more Arma. Got a little influencer talking about it.
Jiu-jitsu for the very first time. I headed down to Arma today to try one of their beginners jiu-jitsu classes. First we got kitted out. I don't know the technical terms. These robes, but they were really comfy. We headed into the dojo where the class took place. And we spent a lot of the warm-up doing exercises like forward rolls, backward rolls, which was honestly so fun. I haven't moved like this since I was a child. Then we had the amazing Fion guide us through some technical jiu-jitsu drills. As you can see, it took a while for my head to get around a lot of the drills, but it was quite fun. Get a lot of that on film. There are a lot of headlocks. The great thing about jiu-jitsu is that you can always tap out, so it's actually really safe. Anyway, after the class, we had a little bit of a look around Arma, and oh my gosh, the space itself is absolutely gorgeous. They have a whole co-working space upstairs with a beautiful view of Clapham, and you can even order from the cafe downstairs on the tables, which I thought was pretty cool. And then they also have a whole wellness section, so saunas and ice baths, and it's literally right in Clapham, so look for a gorgeous dinner afterwards.
Awesome.
Come with me.
If you have a school, take note of how they're marketing. You know, they're getting the influencers out there, letting them take videos and inviting them to take classes. So I think that's a really good way of marketing nowadays. You know, old school marketing still works, but you get white belt baddies. Yeah, that does help too, having some baddies. But I think having the influencers show the school, show the program, show the classes, that only helps so people understand, oh, it's not scary in there. Oh, there's a female instructor. Oh, they have this, they have that. So if you guys have a school you're trying to market, I mean, you don't need to reinvent the wheel, man. Just copy that. Invite some influencers, and of course, make sure everything's clean. Clapham is clapped. Now, it's expensive over there for sure, but I mean, you gotta pay for Fion. Fion deserves to make money too. Back on Reddit, you guys can't even see. It says winner of PGF earns spot on next UFC BJJ card. I'm not sure if that's good or bad. Well, it might be good because they're gonna make more money in UFC BJJ. Some of those guys at PGF made like $1,000 or something, maybe $500. But I think whoever wins PGF going to be too broken to do the UFC BJJ. So we'll see. Them guys got tore up. Says last night it was announced that whoever wins the PGF playoff will earn a spot on the next UFC BJJ card. This seems like a good collaboration, although I'm not crazy about the exclusive contracts that seem to be a part of UFC BJJ. We forgot about that part. Regardless, I feel like a lot of top PTF guys this season are already deserving of spots in other promotions. Yeah, some of these guys were really good already. Why do they have to keep... Yeah, what's the point of... I mean, I guess you make a name for yourself, but what's the point of destroying yourself in PGF when you already at a good level? I'm just wondering. The product at PGF seems better than most of the UFC BJJ matches, with the exception to the top guys already. I mean, a lot of the PGF guys were in the UFC BJJ. Canuto, Varela, Aiken. He's not doing UFC BJJ. Some of the other guys too, I think. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of crossover in the future. Anyone else have thoughts or opinions on this? I need to watch you at least once per day. It's like OCD thing at this point. Thank you, bro. I'm consistent. If I'm for sure one thing, it might not be entertaining, but I'm consistent Monday through Friday. Friday, tomorrow's Friday, guys. I'll be streaming later, probably past 5 p.m. because I have early training tomorrow. But Monday through Friday, I'm streaming, my 3 hours, I'm for sure I'm going to beat everybody in consistency. Maybe not entertainment or jokes or anything. How much do you get for UFC BJJ? They've been pretty hush-hush on that, on the figures. I'm not certain. I'm assuming it's UFC. I'm thinking 10 and 10 maybe. Which isn't terrible, but all right, 10 and 10 in the show, 10 to win. All right, but you can't do CJI where you make $100,000 or $200,000. So it's about perspective. Do you want the $10,000 guaranteed and $10,000 guaranteed if you win, or do you want the chance of making the $200,000? So it's up to the athletes to do that math. I think Mika Galvao was slapping himself. Last time because he could have won the last CGI for the $1 million. But now he's doing it. He learned his lesson last time. Says guy in thumbnail is a douche. Doing the gun pointing. Yeah, I don't do that stuff. $10. Yeah, basically. Whatever Dana says you can have, and whatever Claudia. I mean, just the fact that you got to deal with Claudia, good luck. You're not Brazilian, and you think Claudia gonna give you? Did you hear what Claudia said about Kennedy? After he won his fight, she's like, yeah, I don't think you're gonna get a run at the championship. So I mean, I wouldn't let that lady be in charge of me. I'm sorry. She can be in charge of you guys out there, but she ain't gonna be in charge of me, telling me what to do. And with her grappling level, I don't want to hear nothing from her. If you're talking about the guy with the finger gun, I don't know him personally, so he might be a douche, but he hasn't come across that way. He is fun to watch. He's more of a guard player, but does really well attacking the upper body and then transitioning to the legs if needed. Seems great. The PGF is fun. P.S. You don't have to write, although I'm not crazy about the exclusive contracts that seem to be part of UFC BJJ, as though it were some legal requirement of public speech. BB says, thanks for keeping it real, brother. No glaze, just legit takes. It's like you're saying what normal people are thinking. We ain't got too many normal people in jiu-jitsu anymore. Claudia's boring. Yeah, Claudia, I don't want to hear nothing. Yeah, Claudia, she can't even beat the people out there. She can't beat the girls out there. Put her with Cassia. She'll get smashed fast. Claudia should not be in charge of jiu-jitsu organization. They could have put anybody better. Any jiu-jitsu person, Damian Maya, Ryan Hall, Drysdale, not Buchecha, but maybe Buchecha. Somebody with some sense on there. Heck, we'll take Mackenzie Dern. Put Mackenzie Dern in charge. You know how happy we would all be if Mackenzie Dern was in charge? If Mackenzie Dern was in charge, we would all be celebrating. Do you like the Craig Jones IG promo vids of all the athletes? Yeah, I like it. Bro, you missed him. He was on the stream yesterday, bro. You missed him. You missed Craig Jones, bro. Should have been on the stream yesterday, man. I'm sorry. Mushmaster says, if you want BJJ to be exciting, you have to change the rules. I would change the rule. I would change everything about UFC BJJ, and I would get rid of Mikey. How are you gonna have Mikey as the showrunner? he over there hopping on one leg and butt scooting. Get Mikey out of there. How are you gonna say? I don't want to hear nothing about UFC BJJ, and they got Mikey as the figurehead over there. They messed up since the start, and they had Harrison. Harrison shouldn't have been out there. I'm upset about the UFC. He said, my favorite is Helena. Hey, calm yourself, bro. Be careful, bro. She's still young. No, we only, it's a family show. Control yourself. You know what I say? If you get with Helena, if you get with Helena, you're gonna have to take care of all the animals. So just prepare yourself. I wouldn't be surprised. Claudia was already in that basement with Moneyberg. No telling what she did. She had to smell his socks, I bet. She was down in that basement smelling his socks. Nah, I'm good on Claudia, man. I'm good. All that butt scooting and no charisma is going to make UFC BJJ a failure. Mikey said he's trying to grow the sport. At the same time, he's ruining the sport. I like Mikey as an athlete, but yeah, I think it was a miss for him to be the showrunner. Mushmaster knows what it's like to carry a show. It's not easy. And you got to have charisma, a mouthpiece. You got to be relatable. I don't think Mikey had any of that stuff. Helena is like 15. Yeah. Calm down, guys. I'm telling you guys, calm down. Yeah, we are family show, guys. Family show. I have not been following PGF. I just don't have the energy to. I don't get paid. If they were paying me to cover it, maybe, but I don't get paid by those people. Why am I going to waste my time covering their stuff? Unless I want to. It says canceled. BJJ star J. Rodriguez, J-Rod, opens up. I could quit jiu-jitsu forever and be okay. Don't do it, bro. Don't do it. This little excerpt, we'll get to the real stuff later, but I think it's just a little excerpt. We'll read the story to catch you guys up if you didn't know. Just a year ago, Jacob J. Rodriguez stood on top of the jiu-jitsu world after a silver medal run at the 2024 ADCC. He was one of the sport's brightest rising stars, competing in high-profile super fights and building a reputation as part of Austin's B-Team Jiu-Jitsu. But in May, his career came to a sudden halt. When misconduct allegations surfaced, the fallout was swift. Rodriguez was removed from the team, sparking widespread speculation and heated debate across the BJJ community. The promo, what are you talking about? Oh yeah, Craig dressing up as Helena. Oh, bro, listen, we don't know. Okay, we thought you were talking about Helena. They said they were talking about Mackenzie Dern. Either way, we need to be careful. This is a family show. Silver medal, blah, blah, blah. Banned, fallout. Rodriguez described how he learned of his dismissal during a recent appearance on the Jits and Giggles podcast. We might click on that just so you guys can see where it is. Nick Rod told me to call Craig Jones. It was 1 a.m. I was half asleep, and he told me I was banned. I was like, okay. He knew what he did. While acknowledging the disappointment, Rodriguez admitted that the timing right before the Craig Jones Invitational, CJI, likely influenced the team's decision. Protecting sponsorships and events' reputations was, in his words, a lot of money to lose. And B-Team wasn't the only one. Rodriguez says most reputable gyms in Austin closed their doors to him as well. They have a lot of ladies that train in Austin, so probably for the best, making it nearly impossible to find a training base. I can't train in Austin anywhere worth going to. Gyms are just timid, which I get from a business perspective. If only he had this foresight earlier. Life without the mats. Without a place to train, Rodriguez revealed that he hasn't been training at all in recent months. I don't train at all. Maybe two or three times a month now. That's really difficult. For someone whose life revolved around For someone whose life revolved around grappling, stepping away entirely has been jarring. But instead of bitterness, Rodriguez has found an unexpected acceptance, faith, reflection, and perspective. Remember, when my athletes get in trouble, they're going to quote the Bible. Now, did they read the Bible? Probably not, but they're going to quote that Bible. Rodriguez maintains that most of the rumors online were false and exaggerated. How much were they exaggerated, bro? Though he acknowledges that screenshots from his phone were involved. Still, he says his bigger battle has been with himself, working through temptation, social pressure, and the sudden loss of purpose. I overcome lust. I've been able to detach myself from jiu-jitsu, he shares, crediting his growing faith and spirituality. He draws strength from others with tougher struggles, pointing to a paralyzed practitioner in Florida as inspiration. Is that Ben Kuzel he's talking about? I realize it's going to be okay. I could not train for the rest of my life, and it will be okay. I will find something else to do. A new chapter. Rodriguez has spent the past months traveling, reflecting, and even bulking up to address the size disadvantages he faced competing at 88 kg. He hasn't committed to a return, but he hasn't closed the doors either, so he could still do ADCC for sure. I'll probably stay away for a couple months from competing and then hopefully come back better than ever. For now, he says he's training lightly while on the road, but won't step back into competition without a proper camp. They're probably going to let him go back to B team once CJI is over. That's what I'm speculating. I could be wrong. Rather than focus on controversy, Rodriguez's advice to others going through difficult times are simple. Put down the phone. Put your phone down. Get off whatever site you're on. Spend time with the right people and trust that things will be okay. And, I mean, he didn't say nothing about not engaging in that bad behavior, but, whatever. In the end, Rodriguez insists that the ban has given him space to grow, not just as an athlete, but as a person. Whether or not he ever makes a competitive comeback, he's learning to define himself beyond jiu-jitsu. Maybe this is time for him to grow. Where's that clip at?
We take care of a lot of things at Tynan.
What the heck? I don't pay for these ads. Let me move it over so you guys can't see all my login info. Bro, I've been sick for like a week.
Yeah, and even if it isn't, even if I can...
Move it over so you guys can see. I'm for sure not going to play this. She for sure going to copyright strike everybody. So again, that's the Jits and Giggles podcast. I don't know if you guys can see that here. It's got about 20K views. That's pretty good in one day. Let's read some comments though. I can't get a copyright strike if I just read comments, right? Let me switch it over. I'm ready for the J-Rod redemption arc. Okay. Sitting barefoot in front of J-Rod for a podcast is wild to me. She got them feet dangling. Uh-oh. You see them toes out. Hey. I like a French manicure, though. She know what she was doing with them feet out. She says, LMAO. Gotta keep the vibe comfy. And he's a beater. And he's in a beater. We comfy. Let me move my head out the way. You guys, he wearing a wife beater. Is that the right uniform to be wearing, J-Rod? What the heck, bro? Put a shirt on. J-Rod, why are you wearing... You can see my comment in the video, all right. Why are you wearing a wife beater to the interview? Good way to keep him focused. He ain't do nothing wrong. Says, so funny. We're jiu-jitsu practitioners. We don't wear shoes and socks most of the time. He's not a foot weirdo if you are. Even worse, if you're one of these that train with socks. Moneyberg said you got to keep your socks on. If she were to train with Moneyberg, she got to keep her socks on, though, so you can smell them later, allegedly. Yeah, we're going to read these comments. We're going to for sure read these comments. The whole setup. Yeah. I mean, I'll show up on the podcast. I don't need to be on the podcast. Give the guy a break, man. If any of you posted our search history to the world, they'd likely bury us under the prison. The Goon King is back. I love this guy. Sick jiu-jitsu style, super goofy personality. I'm glad you guys brought him. It's good to hear he's okay. It's really good to hear that. Yeah, he is such a poor victim. Shout out to BJJ Hacks. They put all the what's that called? You know, I don't know. The timestamps. Pretty interesting, yeah. I'm gonna leave that to you guys to watch. I'm just gonna read some of the comments. She's a blue belt. Okay. Surprise, surprise. The blue belt with the higher belt. Blue belt girl with the higher belt. Nah, I'm joking. I miss him on B team, but I still love Jacob. He's so young, got a lot of life left. Best wishes to the dude. Would you care if you found out you were in his phone? Okay, probably. This was really great and a compassionate interview. Subscribed. Jay has a good heart, to be honest. Randomly met him in Hawaii on the beach. Super nice guy. Took the time to have a conversation and gave me some killer pineapple. What kind of pineapple did he give you? I'm really happy Jay is doing good. I really like the guy. Good to see Jay handling everything like a champ and making a turnaround. Great pod. Says, glad you had him on. I was wondering how he was doing. Wish you best, Jay. Hope you stay competing. I wonder if he jade his rod to her. Oh, I was waiting for somebody to say that. He said that he didn't say he was born again, but he said, he's been, if Jay was black, he'd get crucified. Yeah. Everybody, no, there would be no support on Reddit at all. If that was me or somebody, I get him. I never liked him. They be making up stories. Like, he did this. I wasn't even in the country at that time. They were making up stories. J-Rod got off lightly. Him and Jacob Couch, Jacob Couch, he got off with nothing. If that was me or somebody else, somebody I know, some of my friends, bro, that would be it. Flow Grappling, kick you out. IBJJF, kick you out. ADCC, kick you out. UFC BJJ. I don't care about UFC BJJ. Yeah, I would have been gone. What if he was Indian? They probably would take him out too. You mean the Indian top team? I know Indian top team now. Indian top team close. They want to get caught slipping like that though. Indian top team gonna pull rank on you. I had people harassing me on flights. Oh man. Wow. Yeah, imagine you did what my boy Tex Johnson did. You would have been on TMZ. Everything. You would have been you wouldn't be able to fly no more. He's doing all the right things in the public space right now. Unlike others who were recently outed, he's actually separating himself and putting in the work on himself. Little by little, gyms are starting to welcome him. Only a matter of time till he's fully back. Redemption. He just needs to go to Fight Sports. Fight Sports going to accept him for sure. That ain't nothing at Fight Sports. If he go to Fight Sports, why don't he just go to Miami? He going to fit right in. They have me on a plantation. They lock you away, bro, on that plantation out there. J-Rod just need to go to Fight Sports. They got the same style too. I can see him training with Wagner and Achilles Hosha and Cyborg. And he gonna be strong for 88 kg. Now he might lose his hair. His hair might go away. You gotta sacrifice his hair though if you want to go to Fight Sports. I enjoyed your relaxed interview style. I've subscribed. Jay, we missed you. Thank you. I missed Jay in a pod. Meanwhile, Craig is facing Gable Stevenson at CGI 2, who has legit SA case. Let's not talk about that. No charges. That's true. What's your point? He can be a Republican lawmaker. Yeah, he should run for office. He might be able to run in Texas. It's crazy that it's so hard to find good people in this sport and wrestling. Sometimes in wrestling too, but specifically jiu-jitsu, it's so hard to find good people. So yeah, it's just how it is, man. If we had to look into everybody's record at these tournaments, nobody could compete. The Brazilians, half of them illegal, probably did some stuff in Brazil. Some of the American, they abuse people, got abuse and all this other stuff. You couldn't have a tournament. Says, long live Goonrod. Wish nothing but the best for him. Listen to the Simple Man podcast. Been needing the J-Rod back in action. This is just as good. Just missed him so much. Honestly, really glad to see him back. I for sure know people would have missed me. He'd be like, I never liked him. I knew I couldn't trust him. Yeah, they'd be on me. I'm happy to see he's doing well or good. With all the traveling he's doing, I'd like to see him start a YouTube channel vlogging one day. Free J-Rod. Nice interview. Admire J-Rod for seeking therapy. I mean, he probably needed that. Says Jay is a complete beast on the mats. Both his skill and energy are top notch. The B team situation is definitely unfortunate because he got so much potential for growth in the sport. That said, gyms/academies need to be safe spaces for members and visitors to train without BS. Regardless of what's online, spreading/sharing people's business without their consent, especially potentially sensitive and compromising material, creates a weird vibe. Jay having a high profile/visibility just made it worse. Is it career ending for him? Likely not. And it shouldn't be, in my opinion. He's a young kid with a kid's judgment. He's like 25 years old and needs a he's a kid with kid's judgment and needs to mature mentally. Lessons he's an adult. Lessons must be taught, consequences given when poor decisions are made. This will hopefully help him grow, and wishing him the best going forward. So J-Rod's getting a lot of understanding that some of us would not get. Says those got to be bot comments. I hope they are, but we might be wrong, man. These might be real people in the sport. Yeah, he's getting a lot more consideration than I would get. I wouldn't get any consideration. Yeah, some of this can't be real though. Great interview. J-Rod is the man. J-Rod is the man. Yeah, some of that stuff don't look real. Someone says, I'm not trying to pry, but when Craig said he was leaving B Team, everyone assumed J-Rod would be back. Is the general consensus that it was Craig's decision to kick him out? So if Craig wasn't there, it was probably some other people's decisions. They're not going to let J-Rod back so soon. It would be a bad look. And besides, there's a lot of jiu-jitsu gyms in Austin. He has to stay in timeout. I didn't assume that at all. I thought he was gone for good because he's a weirdo. Nicky Ryan is co-owner as well. It sounds like it was a group decision. He only used their IG pics. How would you know that, bro? Is that what he said in the? Is that what J-Rod said in the video? Because I don't believe that's true. He probably had some other stuff going on, man. Of course he's gonna sugarcoat it. Apparently, we don't know, and I'm not gonna sit here and defend J-Rod. I can barely defend myself. I'm not gonna defend this dude. Yeah, I ain't defending. I like him as an athlete. I ain't defending him though. The thing is, imagine that dude was over there gooning at your school. You'd be ready to kick him out too. And you know he was doing some other stuff, some other behavior. I mean, there's a ton of comments. What's the actual story? I'm gonna let you guys watch the video because he's gonna tell his side of the story. I can't because they're gonna copyright strike me. I think just inappropriate behavior. And to be honest, if it wasn't J-Rod, he would have been out of there a long time ago. Yeah, he would have been out of there a long time ago. I mean, anybody being inappropriate at the gym and making people feel weird, they need to go. Yeah. I don't know exactly what happened. We covered the story a little bit ago, but you know he's gonna change the story up. Again, if you guys want to watch that, that's the Jits and Giggles podcast. I can't watch that because they will hit me with a copyright. That's one downside to this YouTube game. All that music and sometimes just the visual stuff, you know, the audio, the visual stuff, they take me out. You're right, a regular member would get the boot. Yeah, you would have. Hey, listen, you're making everybody feel uncomfortable. You gotta go. Or, hey, man, you got to stop doing this. They probably told him to stop a couple times. So, I mean, how bad did it have to be for everybody to turn on him? It had to be terrible. And, of course, he's going to sugarcoat it. That's just how these guys do. I see my... you saw your comment? J-Rod, bro. J-Rod. I mean, that's usually what happens to athletes, though. You know, their lust gets them. We got Mr. Doderline coming to town. I'm actually going to be out of town, but he's coming down to Georgia. If you guys are in this part of the country. Black belt September 3. So if you guys want to come down, it's September 13th in Gainesville, Georgia. Not Florida, Gainesville, Georgia. We got Miss Danielle Kelly. She's joining Team Alion. So she got let go from one championship, but we know some of you guys really are big fans of hers. So that's why I included this clip. Welcome to Team Alion, Danielle Kelly, blah, 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 one champion, grappling world champion, and one of the most recognized names in the game today. Is she one of the most recognized names? Okay. Known for her dynamic style and technical sharpness, Danielle continues to raise the level in every match. You might see her at UFC BJJ or something, or I don't know. I'm not sure. She's more of a no-gi person, so we'll see. Is that Grippo? Let me show Grippo because you guys love Grippo. I don't know what Grippo did. He must be his boyish good looks or something. You guys love you some Grippo on this channel for some reason.
This is the beginning of the sport becoming professional.
It's really helping these up-and-coming athletes to changing their lives.
This event's $500,000. Alion showed that we're right there on the cusp. We had some crazy matches, and we're taking home a nice chunk of cash. Obviously, there's a new level of intensity.
There's a lot of good opportunity out there, you know, and this is, you know, it's only growing, and that's awesome to see.
All right, Team Alion. I might push this back. We might watch J-Rod versus Tynan. That might be a good match to watch later. I've got Mr. Craig Jones. Please, Craig, don't tell me you didn't get this tattoo, Craig. No. I don't know how I feel about that, but that's Craig. That's your body, your choice.
Elijah Dorsey, straight out of Maryland, representing Team America, minus 88 kilos. Gotta love the man. Beat the shit out of Nicky Ryan. Came this close to beating Mika Galvao. I will see you in Vegas, my nigga.
At least he cut that out. Thank you, Craig. Thanks for cutting that out. Thank you. At least he did that.
Elijah Dorsey, straight out of Maryland, representing Team America, minus 88 kilos. Gotta love the man. Beat the shit out of Nicky Ryan. Came this close to beating Mika Galvao. I will see you in Vegas, my nigga.
Mushmaster, how you feel about that, Mushmaster? That's wild, man. Davis Asari. What's up, Davis Asari? We've been clowning Davis Asari because he did that you know, he did that takedown. He did that rolling takedown without shaking hands, you know, kind of a low blow. I do like Davis Asari though. Surprised he's not on nobody's team. He didn't make the European team or anything. Him and Taza got left behind. Maybe they can be alternates. So we'll see. Craig. I like the Hulk one. Let's just knock out all the Craig Jones ones we can find now. Who has the strange style? Mushmaster. Craig, you know, Craig, like, how do I do all that? Because he's trying to do a promo for everybody. So he's like, what do I do? I you know, I don't know what to say. Yeah. I understand what he's doing, but yeah.
Hey guys,
Craig, over here.
Hey guys, our next athlete is Brandon Reed. He might not look like much, truth be told. I don't know if he is, but he'll be representing Daisy Fresh. I forgot what weight division. Plus 99 kilos. That's a dangerous team and a team that did not use a wild card. Hey guys,
Craig, over here.
Hey guys, our next athlete is Brandon Reed. He might not look like much, truth be told. I don't know if he is, but he'll be representing Daisy Fresh. I forgot what weight division. Plus 99 kilos. That's a dangerous team and a team that did not use a wild card.
They ain't got those in Australia, Mushmaster. They ain't got those. They ain't got those over there. Actually, they got some Africans though. They got Adesanya. Adesanya. Well, he's in New Zealand. Same thing. The same part of the world. Somebody wants to see Helena. All right. Remember, she's 15. Craig is doing good stuff. Let me just remind you guys, Craig is doing some good stuff. He's got his Guardian Peru and Fair Fight Foundation. So he is doing some good stuff. We might go down to Peru. You guys want to go down to Peru?
The next athlete in the four-woman, $100,000 highest paid women's division in the history of our sport is Helena Craraver out of New Wave. She is a prodigy. She is undefeated WNO. karate combat, UFC Fight Pass, and probably everything else. I don't know, but guys, I had to put personal differences aside here. Obviously, it was very difficult to put her in the tournament considering she jacked my entire style. She'd be one of the betting favorites for this event. $100,000, August 30, 31, live and free on YouTube.
Some of you guys want Craig to dress up like Helena. I see you guys in the comments over there. Some of you guys want Craig Helena. Craig Helena. Some FUBU. Yeah, I miss the FUBU days, bro. Yeah, I miss the FUBU days. True Religion and Nautica, yeah. Some not Ralph Lauren. What else would we wear? Tommy Hilfiger. We used to wear a lot of stuff back in the day. Helena is when Craig is in the cheetah suit. Yeah. So that's Helena. That's really Helena. That's been Helena this whole time. Helena doesn't exist. That's just Craig Jones. Let's see. What did we watch? Let's watch this one, and then we'll watch the one with Laranja.
Our next athlete, Pat Downey, representing Team America at plus 99 kilos, which is a bit goddamn rich considering he helped that Russian Khamzat Chimaev win a UFC world title.
Yeah,
but he's one of the best wrestlers in the sport of jiu-jitsu. Not saying much, but he did tech Nicky Rod. Most importantly, he teched Gordon Ryan in 7 seconds. Go enjoy that beside of Gordon Ryan in a singlet. The only damage you'll do in this tournament is likely to Greg Souders. He's gonna need a good psychologist, and the CJI budget ain't gonna cover it.
Got one more. Rockaware. Yeah, I miss Rockaware. Dang, we really had some. That was that real streetwear back in the day. I don't know what the kids are wearing now. Montclair jackets and some other crap. Stuff I can't afford. We got one more video. You know, Hinato Laranja. You know, he's some of you guys love him. Some of you guys don't like him. Depends. For me, it depends.
There's a lot of African American out there, and they're not just one kind, you know. I brought you some of the kind of individual we have, the African American community. Stone Cold Gentleman, sensitivity, make last forever, and all that kind of stuff. Don't stop your life, all that kind of, all the hits. Is maybe your most diabolical. How do I say this? How do I put this mildly? Here's a light-skinned Afro-American. Okay, he's heavy baby brown eyes. Now let it out through your mouth, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Look me on my baby browns here. Easy, my brother. Easy.
God, Craig.
Easy.
Control
like
yourself,
I
Craig.
told you, you're gonna need a lot of practice here because you're getting caught up in that shit here. You think I'm a trash? This light-skinned guy will fucking take you harsh. Imagine how you're gonna get caught up out there on a CJI. You think I'm drop-dead gorgeous? You think I'm intoxicating? You think I'm irresistible? This fucking guy's not even gonna need the Hennessy. This the lightest black guy I ever see.
I don't know what they're gonna do at CGI. More I don't know, black people kind. I can't wait for CGI 3 now. I don't know who they're gonna put out there. It's gonna have to be Gordon or somebody. Maybe Mergali. I don't know what they're gonna do. Mushmaster. Says, were you a hype beast in the YOLO swag days? Nah, I was a button-up, slack kind of kid. You know, back in those, I mean, some people had either you had like a street style or you were just like more casual. I had the button-ups. The polos. I don't know what I was wearing. He's gonna bring back a kanji. At this point, I don't get upset at anything. I mean, even if I feel offended, I just don't get upset anymore. I don't know what to say. Craig is doing a lot though. Craig, after this tournament, take care of yourself, man. Take care of your mental health and your physical health. We got Mr. Hamzat Shamayev. He calls out Gordon Ryan. You're not the first or last person to do that, but he might actually. I think Gordon's retired, guys.
Get healthy and meet you, brother, in the mat.
Even though he's an MMA fighter, I believe that the gi is really important for the development on the ground part. To learn and understand and identify the reaction of the jiu-jitsu fighters. The approachment is different than a grappling pure guy or a wrestler that come to grappling. So the jiu-jitsu guys have a different approachment, a different kind of setups for techniques, and knowledge is never too much. Better know and don't need to use than if one day in the middle of a fight he need to use and he don't know. So MMA is a mixed martial art, so we have to be prepared in every area. So spending the time with the gi. Of course, as soon as a training camp started, we take off the gi and we put all the energy in the grappling with the gloves. Where we pay a lot of attention to the distance because of the ground and pound and all the things that everybody knows. So, but right now it's more like a not active rest, but a development in other parts. It's a way to also he rest and relax the mind, so don't keep the same kind of training. You need to miss also the MMA grappling part. So when we start the camp, he's hungry to enjoy also the journey for the preparation of the next fight.
Is Fingfu the first jiu-jitsu black belt to create a UFC world champion? I mean, in the modern era. He's basically a jiu-jitsu coach, right? I mean, he's an jiu-jitsu MMA coach. Oh, Rotulo's out here too. What they saying? Internet's going slow. Well, he had a purple belt on, so it might have been a couple years ago.
And Gordon's for sure.
Yeah.
I think Gordon's success really came after he gained like 60 pounds of synthetic muscle,
Oh, like roids.
Yeah, really, because, there's a lot of my teammates were beating him before he did that, and so.
At least he's open about it, right?
Right, yeah. So,
he's not hiding it.
Yeah, that's
a lot of his teammates on something.
Same way Craig, I got a lot of respect for Craig,
Yeah.
He's so funny. I remember he's like, he showed the stack that he was on when he fought me,
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's like, I'm like, fine, at least you're open, like that's cool and respectable,
Have you ever came across Gordon in training? Have you ever grappled him at all or no?
Yeah, we've had a couple of rounds together.
Really?
Yeah. He caught me in a heel hook one time, but I knew it was pure. It wasn't technical. That's why
it was pure strength.
I could tell. I think I'm definitely for sure more. I've been doing jiu-jitsu since I was 3 years old. Every day of my life.
Have you ever?
I personally believe that my jiu-jitsu is definitely better than Gordon's for sure. I think.
UFC just started their league. One day, do you see yourself being in the UFC BJJ, or you just?
I haven't seen too much of that stuff. The UFC, BJJ, I haven't looked at it too closely, but I see they're doing some good stuff. I'm stoked with the one where we're at, with the belts holding it down. And my brother 170, I'm at 85, so it's cool. We can both defend our belts and fight MMA at the same time. So we're super stoked doing that right now. But,
like I said, UFC just started their league. One day, do you see yourself being in the?
Yeah, I mean, maybe they might make the crossover. I don't know. We'll see. They can do whatever they want. We saw that already. More Craig Jones. He says CGI could lose $800,000. We'll see. I think, especially with the online, you can donate online. I think that might bring in some money too. So I am pushing people to donate towards the CGI, specifically because I think it's better than UFC BJJ. And, you know, they are advocating for the athletes better than, I mean, you're not going to see Dana White out there painting his skin green or putting on the leopard print leotard or doing any of these skits. You know, Dana White, he'd be yelling at his phone, no audio, no lighting, nothing. And, you know, Claudia ain't marketing nobody. Mikey ain't market. When did you see Mikey market somebody? So I think Craig Jones definitely, you know, if you have to get behind someone's product, their event, I think CGI is the best one for the athletes. Not only are they making the most money and they're getting the most just support, you know, they get money to show, don't they? Or at least the first CGI. ADCC, good luck getting some money. Well, they eventually did pay a little bit of money, but they never paid until Craig Jones kind of forced them to pay. They wouldn't pay. You know, when I did ADCC, I think just got my you know, I mean they catered some food. They catered some food. That was it. You had your hotels and breakfast, and I think they did pay for some checked luggage. That was basically it. Craig's t-shirt, keep jiu-jitsu gay. I mean, I agree with his t-shirt. You know, I don't judge nobody no more. You know, whatever lifestyle you got, go ahead. I support you guys. It says Craig Jones has stunned the grappling world by admitting that the second Craig Jones Invitational may end up losing $800,000 once the event is over. The news comes as a surprise given the massive success of the inaugural CGI, which offered the biggest prize money in jiu-jitsu history, drew huge viewership, and even raised $500,000 for charity while covering all its costs. This year's edition lowered the prize pool from $2 million to $1 million and introduced quintet rules despite boasting one of the strongest lineups ever. Jones revealed the event is struggling to move tickets, with sales falling more than 1,000 short of expectations just 2 weeks out. So, I mean, I guess you can buy the ticket up until the day of, so they won't know. I think more money's going to come through online sources, so I wouldn't be too heartbroken about the the shortage of tickets. And a lot of people are paying money for that Masters World, so I mean, it should be possible for them to get some people from Jiu-Jitsu Con and Masters Worlds in that short time, I think. How would Craig dress up for you? I mean, he already got the BET tattoo, so I don't know if he could dress up for me. The BET covered everybody, all the brothers. That covered everybody. And I think Elijah Dorsey, the only brother there, and Gable Stevenson. So I think the BET tattoo, that got everybody. Jason says, no way, Ty. Gordon's understanding of technical jiu-jitsu is way above you. When we spoke earlier about scrambling jiu-jitsu, Ty is the definition of it. Now that Ty has on him. Yeah. I mean, Gordon can't scramble. That's all. But Ty, the Rotulos, you know, the Rotulos are like kind of malicious when they grapple, you know. And that's the only way. Well, that's how they beat Mika, though. They go out there to kill Mika. Mika go out there to kill people too. So you kind of need that style. I mean, I can't think of a small. I mean, Gordon's just slower, but it's hard to have that style with the small people. Maybe Pato. Pato's probably got, but he's super strong too, so that's not fair. So Pato, like, he's like the ideal of a technical grappler from a point of view, but he's like so strong he can play that slow. But when you're not enhanced, you don't have the physical power to control people. You got to use your speed and scrambling. Even Mika, I mean, Mika uses a lot of his flexibility. I can't name a really, you know, when I say technical, I'm saying like kind of methodical. Almost nobody has that game at the lower weights. Yeah, nobody really can play. I mean, outside of Pato, really. So small people got to scramble. We got to move. We got to move our body. Where did Craig get 800K from? I don't know. I don't have 800K. You got to ask Craig. You should have asked him that yesterday. No time limit helps. Well, I mean, he's got that isometric strength and really good conditioning. So Gordon could just submit a lot of people just because he could wear them down. Even his Who's Number One matches would be 20 minutes. He's strength is a technique. That's true. That's why the small people can't do that stuff. We got to move. I got to move and jump and try to create an opening. Gordon can just crush you and create an opening that way. And not get tired and be strong. It says this year, where are we? It says another factor may be the loss of the heated rivalry with ADCC that fueled CGI's first event. With no head-to-head competition this year, and Jones confirming that future events won't clash with ADCC, the promotional energy has shifted almost entirely to the fight card itself. Jones has already teased plans for CGI 3 in 2026, but with CGI 2 set to bleed cash, it's unclear how this setback will impact the promotion's long-term future. Literally, at this rate, we'll lose $800,000 on the event. Screw it. For the history books, I believe I can't even talk. I believe in quintet format for entertainment value. And most events lose money, I mean, UFC's not even going to a pay-per-view model anymore. They just, hey, screw it, we're gonna get with the streaming company. And you know what? Craig could probably make that money easily by just having it on Flow Grappling. The $800,000, they would get $1 million easy from Flow Grappling just for one CGI event. But he wants to keep it open so everybody can watch it. So on YouTube for free. So that's why I'm pushing people to donate a little bit of money. If 1 million people donate $1, that's $1 million, right? The leg break from the house comp was brutal. Yeah, we watched that yesterday or 2 days ago. Some people are defending that. I'm not going to defend that. I mean, what kind of jiu-jitsu was that? Does streaming mean less money for the for the fighters? No, for UFC. Well, so you're not gonna get your pay-per-view money no more. How are you gonna make your money as a fighter if there's no more pay-per-view? Yeah, if you don't get no more pay-per-view, no more McGregor. I mean, McGregor didn't make his money from. Well, he made a little bit of money. He made his money from boxing. But say you're a fighter and there's no more pay-per-view. How are you gonna make more? You're gonna have to win a bonus. That's what the UFC wants the fighters to do. Go out there and fight for the bonuses now. And go out there and kill themselves for a bonus. That's subjective. The pay-per-view, you are, as long as you got the points, you were gonna make money. But now, no more pay-per-view. How are you gonna make money? Mushmaster says, I don't think BJJ will be mainstream for many reasons. Not with the way Mikey and UFC BJJ were running things. It won't be mainstream. I kind of think jiu-jitsu's kind of almost peaked out on popularity, and it might stay pretty popular. Sorry guys, it might stay a popular hobby, but it's not really spectator sport. And I think most spectator sports are kind of suffering outside of like football and soccer. I think viewership in the NBA is down. I'm probably the MLB probably down. I don't know about the hockey. Yeah. So we talked about the 800K. Oh, it was on Reddit. He said that. Someone says, I know Craig likes to exaggerate things for attention, but if this is true, it's honestly very sad to see. Any ideas on how we can fix this as a community? It's hard to buy flights, hotels, etc. So how can we all individually help out a little bit? Do you think buying merch and rash guards would be helpful, or what would be the best way to support the event? Because it's live streamed, you guys can pay. You can just donate money on the live stream. Just like my live stream, I'm not going to force you guys to donate money or anything, but I'm saying when they live stream the CGI event. So, you see something cool, donate some money to the event. Should we donate somewhere? Directly asking you, Craig. How can you fix a situation where they pay athletes more than they generate? It's great for athletes that are able to take part and for us as viewers, but how can it be sustainable? Corporate sponsorships and ad revenues? Maybe. You need enough expected eyeballs on the event to get substantial ad and sponsorship contracts. The first event had 100K concurrent viewers, and overall the event had 1 million views in the first 24 hours. Figure that'd be attractive to companies for sure. That will get you some decent sponsors, but nowhere close to 7-figure range. Charge $10 for the stream plus corporate sponsorship and ad placements. That's the problem, because Craig wants it to remain free. Sad to hear that he is losing, but respect the man being a steward on wanting to keep it as pay friendly as possible. Those are Ricky numbers as far as streaming goes, and most streamers aren't spending $2+ million per video. Maybe they could get some rich guy from Abu Dhabi to sponsor it. Oh wait, Mo, we need your money again. Even basketball is down. Yeah. I heard something where travel to Vegas, like people spending money in Vegas, is down as well. Zuckerberg. Craig said Zuckerberg versus Tom Hardy was supposed to go down at CGI, but the weight difference was too big. Moneyberg ain't got money like that. The other major sports just got huge TV deals. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if we will get that point. We'll get to that point. It says ask the WNBA. You want spectators to throw? I can't say that. I'm not gonna talk about WNBA. Sell alcohol, that would make it an explosive event. I don't know if they can they sell that. This is what's confusing to me. I thought the story behind the last CGI was there was a mysterious benefactor funding it who was willing to eat a large loss to put on a great event that was free to view and with a big prize for the athletes. Moneyberg or Zuckerberg, some Berg gave us the money. Has something changed this time in terms of funding? It seems like it would only be possible to keep doing this for as long as the benefactor is willing to take that loss or change the format to make it profitable. This is why I never understood this argument that Craig was proving athletes can be paid more. The money never came from fans and viewers, so this only lasts as long as some rich person is willing to lose money. He said they had funding secured to do it ongoing, and they didn't need to make any money off of it, and everything was going to charity. But all it takes is for one person to change their mind, and it's over. It's not sustainable. So trying to crush ADCC for me was stupid, as it can't replace it. You can only pay people based on what you generate from viewers, sponsors, etc. Otherwise, it's doomed to fail. And he was talking stuff about people joining UFC, but clearly those athletes know something we don't, and that they prefer security over one-off opportunities. Yeah, but as soon as the UFC athletes complain about not getting paid, you guys, well, you signed the contract. You need bigger sponsors. That's what it is. We still don't have the big attention we need to gather bigger sponsors. You can say the same thing for wrestling. Usually wrestling, they get private donors. So like I believe University of Penn got $20 million for their wrestling program. Iowa, somebody in Iowa was going to give Bo Bassett $5 million to help beat Penetration State College. The guy, whoever sponsors Oklahoma State, they brought David Taylor down there with a big salary. So this is all passion projects, at the end of the day. Depends on the TAM. I don't know what that means, which in BJJ is likely to be something a venture capitalist could consider unless they're an angel like CGI1. That being said, people who do like BJJ really like BJJ, so it's possible there's some rich dude out there who's willing to take the odds. My guess is that the investor would use it as a loss leader and profit in another way from the promotion, or Craig romanced a Saudi prince into just throwing money at it. Putting your competition on the same weekend as the biggest competition around to spite them isn't a long-term winning strategy. Who knew? ADCC isn't happening this year, and putting CGI 2 at the end of Masters Worlds and Jiu-Jitsu Con actually sounds like a great idea, considering the amount of athletes with disposable income that will already be in Vegas. But it's still losing $800K. Maybe Craig isn't as good at running tournaments as he is at talking about how other people do it. It might be it might be it might be an economical issue, because I think a lot of people don't have that disposable money, although there's like 12,000 people competing at Jiu-Jitsu Con. I think Vegas, like the people spending money in Vegas, is also down, so it might be an economy issue. Flying is not super easy. Hotels, all that stuff starts to add up. Let's see. He killed ADCC, and it looked like CGI will disappear soon. Thanks a lot. The only hope is UFC. That might be a bot too. Would merch help if it was special edition non-AI pieces? A bigger league under the same org that bankrolls them. We need to get Moneyberg on the case ASAP. Moneyberg gonna have everybody wearing that Moneyberg rash guard at CGI. I'm sure there's a Saudi prince out there that would shell out $800K for a couple of privates with Craigie. Those dudes would have the sort of money in and around their mini couches. Craig Jones about to eat some Dubai chocolate. Hell no. It says, get Mark Zuckerberg to pitch in. Buy a ticket. Change the name to Moneyberg Invitational. That'll get y'all money. Sounds like someone with $800,000 needs to come to help. This isn't me, sadly. I'd pay to watch the stream, though. Moneyberg to the rescue. 1 degree in his black belt, and we can start talking. Do you think he has time to write the check? In the time it would take him to write it, he would have made $900,000. Finally, a chance to earn black belt. It's definitely true they could make money. They would need to make money on sponsors, but who is going to spend tens to hundreds of thousands to sponsor a BJJ event? The first CGI was made with the intent to pay and not make money, but now that he wants it to be an annual event, that's actually a pretty poor model. I'm sure there's also many sponsors that would not want to be associated with a personality like Craig Jones. It could be bad optics. I think it's stupid to change what looked like a successful event to something completely different in the first place. The first event was cool because it was everybody competing for $1 million for themselves. With these teams, the team's going to be good, except for America's team. I don't care about and have lost track of who's on who, or who's on which team. I'm really not that interested. Nah, you're going to be interested, bro. When it pop up on YouTube and you're bored on Saturday, you're going to be watching. I might still watch, and maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised, but I'm not that excited about it. So, Reddit people turn on you real quick. He specifically asked people to buy tickets to the arena, even if you're not showing up. That's the way to support. A ticket is cheaper than the Nogi kits, by the way. I like CGI, and he seems a nice enough guy and very funny. But if we're just doing straight up charity, then surely there are better uses of our money than giving it to an already rich BJJ guy who seemingly spends most of his time traveling. So it says, how can you buy tickets to the event? Let's see. Vegas used to be the place to hold events, conferences, and shows. Now hotels are expensive. Good and water. It says, and water is expensive. People aren't going. Not to mention international travelers aren't going to Vegas as much. ADCC is in Europe next year for these reasons. I think Vegas tourism being down this year is the bigger reason why CGI isn't getting the traction it did last year. You had people from all over Europe flying out to watch as well. I doubt people from the East Coast will fly out as much either this time around. People from Europe will be will be willing to travel to Asia to watch it. Look at how popular Thailand and Bali are for people from that region. Many people refuse to go to America now. Says, yeah, plus ADCC also being there in the first place didn't hurt. More BJJ people were going to already be there by default. Well, we got Jiu-Jitsu-Con too. If CGI was even scheduled around the same time as a big UFC card, even that would have helped. I've heard / seen Craig basically trying to give away tickets. He's made more than a couple remarks about tickets needing to sell. Maybe having some type of CGI open competition would attract more people to travel to the event. Like before or after the comp, they could hold a CGI. That's too much. That's too much. That's too much. That's even more money. Josiah, what's up? What's up, Josiah? BJ will be mainstream. Maybe. Seriously, nobody is going to that. Reddit people are just complaining. So it's crazy how people on Reddit, they love Craig Jones and they turn on Craig Jones. And then after CGI, Craig, we love the show. So, you know, the people in Jiu-Jitsu, they so finicky. So it says, that's the reason I didn't go. I went last year to ADCC and CGI, not going to Vegas 2 years in a row. Vegas is a miserable place. If he would have picked a different location, I would have went again. This is basically how most companies and events function. They lose money for a few years and then start to generate profit. That's true. Moneyberg has the opportunity to be the best timed sponsorship ever. Imagine how many stripes he could get. Bro, if Moneyberg started helping to bankroll CGI, I would take back every bad thing I ever said and even let him smash me in Casa and give him the gratification of a pressure tap on camera for the whole world to see. Moneyberg, if you see this, it is a one-time offer, but I promise to deliver on my end. You don't even have to pay for the whole thing. Just enough of a sponsorship to make a dent. Can you really pass up on the idea of having your sweet logo plastered all over some CGI mats? Come on now. I'll even wear the rash guard. Maybe we can work out some kind of deal where I can be your uki for some instructionals, and I promise to make you look really good. It's all about who your dancing partner is. Just think about it. That's all I ask. Who says Moneyberg isn't Craig's sugar daddy this whole time? Maybe. I mean, why isn't Gianni on a CGI team? He should have been on the Americas team. Ecological. They could have just priced the tickets better since there are a lot of seats still seemingly available. It looks about 60 to 70% full. Maybe throw in something for higher rollers, boxes or something. Putting on a good event and monetizing the event are different things. Moneyberg said he would cover it for a red belt flair. Maybe release an instructional made by all the competitors on an annual basis and sell it. I think people are going to donate online. I mean, CGI seems to have been a vendetta against ADCC and Gordon without a realistic game plan or business plan moving forward. Not sure how this continues to be a thing. Dope event, but there is a reason ADCC does what it does the way it does. ADCC's been losing money for most of their events. And they've been paying $10,000 since 1998, which adjusted is about $20,000 for nowadays. So ADCC ain't been making a profit probably since the last one or two ones. It was ran no different than most other BJJ events since the early 2000s. Only since Mo have they tried to make an experience with the pyrotechnics and drums. ADCC was built on the position it is in. Mo didn't anticipate the backlash in terms of athletes' pay, and he's had to deal with it. The UFC are crucified for underpaying, and I agree they should pay more, but they are the only promotion that will last that's on an international stage. Even UFC is getting sued left and right, and they make money because they don't pay their fighters, and they're the only game in town. So you guys more willing to support UFC than CGI or ADCC or whatever. And that speaks volumes to me. It's funny how Reddit seems so willing to listen to all the armchair businessmen Like I was to start shouting medical advice, everyone would tell me to shut up, since I'm no doctor. So if I start telling NFL coaches how to win better, people would call me an armchair quarterback. But as soon as I'm like, I know how to run the UFC better than Dana White, I'm flooded with people agreeing and upvotes. Someone says, I hate to say it, but part of the problem is probably that it will be on YouTube for free. Fewer people are going to travel to Vegas to see it live if they can stay home and not have to pay for the travel. If it was pay-per-view, it wouldn't be any different. People would still have to pay 40 USD or whatever to watch at home over transporting to Vegas and paying tickets per person. So if it's going to be on the B Team YouTube channel, they're going to make ad revenue, and you can send donations online. Funny, CGI began because Craig was mad at ADCC for not paying the fighters more, and Mo's argument was that they don't make money off the events. Looks like that was probably true. ADCC was blowing the cost out as well as not paying the athletes. Very different. Yeah, they would spend like $1 million just on the venue. What do you mean by blowing costs out? They were losing money too and spending tons on production costs as opposed to paying athletes more. CGI's lighter on production costs. Arguably, CGI was better. Not only did they spend less money, but the production was better. I'm not saying Flow Grappling was bad, but whoever produced CGI, the videographers and stuff, they did a great job. CGI's lighter on production costs, 2024 difference, most notably being the choice of venue, T-Mobile versus Thomas Mack. ADCC's strategy may be smarter in the long run. Who knows? Can you grow the sport the way it is to bring volume of attendance to make the event profitable and redirect some of the outsized production cost to athletes? Yeah, ADCC was really good about spending money everywhere but with the athletes. They upgraded the venue and it cost at least another $1 million on top of the event's other costs. CGI took the old venue for $500K. I think trying to monetize exclusively through tickets for an in-person attendance was a worthy goal, but probably naive. It's also a bit of bad luck with Trump making the U.S. economy yippee and Vegas tourism being down. Obviously, a pay-per-view would help cover this. If you wanted to keep the stream free on YouTube, I think a smart way to go about it is the paid deluxe version that unlocks cool things. I'm not sure if YouTube allows this, but one cool idea could be having a feature included with the pay ticket where fans can vote in the stream chat for who a team sends in next. Sure, it takes away from the pure competition aspect of it, but it would be a great way for fans to vote for the matchups that they want to see, and it would incentivize people to pay for the viewing experience. You could also do obvious things like higher quality stream access, early access to merch, and cool team rash guards. I think they're going to make the money back on the live stream. You know, again, if everybody, there's probably going to be 1 million viewers, at least 100,000 viewers. What is that, $8? $8? If 100,000 people give $8, right? Yeah. Can you guys see? If 100,000 viewers give $8, that's $800,000. I think they're gonna have for sure more than 100,000 viewers, and I think they're gonna make the money back. I think they will. I am optimistic. Because look at what the streamers on like Twitch do. Bro, people be donating money constantly. BJJ isn't a big money generator. It's the cold hard truth. Anybody who suggested that CGI this year wasn't generating the same buzz and excitement as last year's event was called a moron. Just goes to show how much of a bubble Reddit is. Mikey was right. Vegas tourism is down big this year, and with how the administration is treating people coming into this country, or refusal to visit due to this administration might also be a factor, but not as much possibly. Having it on the same weekend as IBJF might not be as smart as a move as it was last year with ADCC, as IBJF will have over 12,500 athletes competing. Registration, travel costs, coaching, watching teammates compete, that they aren't going to go to CGI2. I think a lot of those athletes will go to CGI2 once they are done competing. Nothing else to do on a Saturday. They don't want to gamble. They might go to CGI. But I think money's going to come through having it free on YouTube is going to help draw in some numbers too. I was looking to travel to watch CGI 2, but Labor Day is making these flights too expensive, so I'll be watching it for free on YouTube. Says, you know what's interesting? Prize money could have been half, $500K for the winning team, which is still fantastic, and just like that, you're only $300K from breaking even. I think he started with the shiny $1 million for each winner last year, and now any less is going to look bad. It's already split 5 ways instead of 1 for the winners. But hey, at least a shiny number. Yeah. Craig's not here to defend himself, so we'll see. I think I'm gonna be optimistic. I think they're gonna make the money on the stream through donations, and I think more people are gonna go to the event on the day of. It's still a week away, and I guess there's only 1,000 more tickets or something. I think they're gonna be okay. Jesus Christ, how long was I reading for? I kind of got in the zone. Oh, I'm not posting that. Let's watch a jiu-jitsu match. Let's watch Tynan versus J-Rod. Give my voice a break.
As we said, we got a stacked card of athletes and celebs here at Who's Number One, as always. We'll be returning with our Jay Rodriguez match versus Tynan Dalpra coming up next.
Representing the B team here in Austin, Jay Rodriguez.
One of the most exciting grapplers coming out of the B team here in Austin, Texas. Jay Rodriguez is back.
Yeah, this is going to be a great matchup. His style has a few things that could give him an advantage. We'll talk about those a little bit.
Hey, my man got the cornrows.
Yeah, J-Rod actually called for this match recently in another promotion, and we were able to lock this down, fortunately. It's long for the Art of Jiu-Jitsu black.
Wary of a youth individual.
The tape, Tynan Dalpra, 23 years old, 5'10", weighed in at...
Ain't no way Tynan 5'10". No way.
183.2 pounds. Jay Rodriguez, 22 years old.
Where's Balea at? Balea, it's crazy having Balea on the TV and on the chat.
5 foot. The fans wanted this match. J-Rod called for it. Tynan accepted. It's finally happening. Tynan Dalpra versus Jay Rodriguez.
And what I like about this, look, Tynan's not sitting. He's going to wrestle. I kind of expected this. He's just the way he talks about how he wants to become better, because I think there's 2 areas that J-Rod has an advantage.
Beautiful takedown by Jay.
I know you guys can't see me, but God, dog, how do you get double leg so fast? Let's watch his footwork.
Because I think there's 2 areas.
So his stance was too high.
He talks about how he wants to become better, because I
look at his stance. His stance is too high. Legs are out of alignment. Yeah, he was about to get taken down. Hands not blocking. There's no line of defense. J-Rod got under his hands. That was it.
I think there's 2 areas that J-Rod has an advantage.
Beautiful takedown by J-Rod.
It's the wrestling, and also this, if he gets out to the open guard. So what that's going to be is it's going to make it very challenging for Tynan to flip or reverse J-Rod.
I got to stretch, guys. Sorry, I got to stretch on the stream.
He's got to get back away from this position right here. This I think, is definitely in Tynan's advantage when he's inside here, feet on the hips, and he's got knees in good position. He can elevate, he can Tobinagi, triangles. These are all sort of classic jiu-jitsu things. Where J-Rod, I think, can shine is if he can get to the back through either the takedown game or open guard passing. Where Tynan's going to shine here, I believe, are these classic positions where he just is so good at jiu-jitsu. I mean, if he's a hold of J-Rod and can hold him, slow him down, do things like this, then I think he's going to shine in those departments.
This is exactly where I believe Tynan was entering with Francisco
Into the
Lowe
50-50.
at the World Championships recently. and ended up getting DQ'd. But Tynan committed to this match, still here. Lowe was supposed to fight in another match here. Who's number one?
Calf slice
had to
entry.
withdraw, unfortunately, because his leg
doesn't work
was
in no-gi,
damaged. But this is where I think, you know, J-Rod's got to be really careful, is those back take attempts from Tynan Dalpra.
Yeah, Tynan's going to have to get creative. So that position with Lowe was from the De La Hiva, and he scooped the leg and turned Francisco Lowe, and that was able to put a lot of pressure on the knee. He's going to have
into a matrix.
A difficult task here in staying tight enough through these inversions.
Really good guard
to
retention.
be able to get to the back. I think that's where really one of the keys for him is to get to the back, or even if it's standing up. If he can create these opportunities to get to the back while standing, that'd be good for Tynan. This is the biggest test for him by far.
Beautiful omoplata attempt there by Tynan Dalpra.
No-gi, they have some leg entries from there, though. That omoplata attack.
And get to the top. He's
He
got
threw
good
off the,
pressure. He should hook this far leg. So that leg should go underneath and hook that far leg. That will ground or sweep J-Rod. See that left foot? Needs to go under and hook the far leg right now. Unlock the figure four and hook it.
The one thing we know about J-Rod is his submission defense, especially with shoulders and arms, is
Calf
insane.
slice.
That guy can roll out of...
It's basically AOJ 101.
And, you know, Tynan now looking to get control of J-Rod's leg here.
But no ability to wrestle up is kind of a weakness.
Sure,
but eventually, they're going to find a way to your back somehow.
Cole, a good crew to train with there.
Rafa Mendez.
Yeah, of course. He's just to try to expose the back or sweep in these positions.
Yeah, definitely contrast of styles. You know, Tynan has a bit of a slow building pressure, very precise game. If anything, a little bit similar to like Gordon Ryan, you know, and J-Rod's very explosive, will wrestle, you know, pulling out unorthodox submissions like buggy chokes.
Nice guard. Oh, how did you do that?
J-Rod passes the side here.
Submission.
Let's see
J-Rod
look pretty good. Belay over here messaging me. Belay, get on chat. Belay, get on the chat, bro.
It's very explosive, will wrestle.
So Tynan's got a knee shield. He's kind of looking for that matrix, but his leg's blocked here. Can you guys see? You know, usually the matrix got to throw the leg over. Looks like his leg was blocked. I can't see because the referee's there.
You know, unorthodox submissions like.
And he's able to switch his. Can you guys see that? He switched his right hand to the hip.
Will wrestle. You know,
here.
pulling out unorthodox.
Watch it there. Can you see his right hand there? He switched it to the hip, and just kind of bulldozed through. You know, and I guess he's got head control with the left hand.
Missions like buggy chokes.
Right there, yeah.
J-Rod passes
drive
the
your way
side
in.
here. He's past the guard of Tynan Dalpra now, almost.
Tynan was having a rough time there. He trying to get his legs back in. From here, Mika Galval would do the. Remember when he fought Elijah Dorsey? He did the bench press, the juice press.
He got to keep that head in the stomach. So as soon as he lifts that head up. Now the one thing that J-Rod can do also is just completely go around the turtle. I don't believe he's really got a huge deal to worry about from singles, but that's the move. If someone go up,
I think if Tynan fought a Rotullo, in no-gi he would be done. He would have been leg stomped into a Darce easy, quick.
Walks around your north-south and you cannot get to the guard. Single leg is where you got to go. It's a single back to the guard, but sometimes heavy guard players don't like to turn to that single. So
that's why AOJ ain't gonna do ADCC or.
And like you said, this match is 100% about styles. It's a very difficult style for Tynan to deal with.
My back is cooked.
And keep good control here of J-Rod. That's a nice body. He's got a left near side underhook. If he puts his head on the mat on that far side, Tynan's
How to get that
really
body
in
chest
trouble.
to chest though? Let me go back. You know I'd be not focused.
A very difficult style for Tynan to deal with.
How do you get chest to chest?
And keep good control here
to a
of
body
J-Rod.
Tynan did not look too good.
If he puts his head on the mat on that far side, Tynan's going to be really in trouble.
No, his legs are flexible.
He should drive forward. He doesn't actually even need to lock his hands anymore. He's trying to keep a body lock, but sometimes that opens that elbow up. You see Tynan's underhook.
How'd he do that?
Deep, and he's going to mount.
Hey, I forgot that happened.
All about that near side underhook and that body lock in that case. He's able to get out.
Tynan was looking human over there.
Yeah,
now put the gi on him.
Like he is a bit of a problem for Tynan Dalpra.
It's a style thing. Yes. I mean, his style is very good, and Tynan's very new on this type of style. So
look at Mo over there.
But he's got 10 minutes to work, and that's where the skill set.
You guys ain't seen Tynan get taken down and mounted like that.
Jiu-jitsu just so as good as Tynan is. 10 minutes is a very long time for him to work. And
you see Tynan kicking that leg up over the shoulder. He's looking for that omoplata. I feel like that's probably one of the keys to victory. It's just sort of being able to lock J-Rod in a position and look to get under with the legs or try to reverse to get on top to control. But I think J-Rod understands that's the game plan, and he's staying away from that.
Yeah, the omoplata he had was fantastic. It was lightning fast. Just needed a little bit of a different approach, in my opinion, to keep him attached here.
Yeah, we have the
outside passing
approach of
I want to see
Tynan's precision
nice
here.
Leg stomp.
And J-Rod, you know, he's one of the most exciting athletes.
I want to see
he's actually never really had
Joseph Tim versus
Tynan here.
Nogi.
Who's #1. Although his matches were amazing and so exciting.
Really good passing opportunity from there. You throw the legs,
Yeah, but that's why this match is so good, potentially so good for him. I mean, Tynan's a huge name, but stylistically, like
Tynan just looks way out of his element.
Match for Tynan.
It's way too slow.
You know, at the press conference, J-Rod said, "No bottom, no buggy chokes," and he certainly hasn't done either yet so far.
There was near. That's what Tynan needs to do. See, I made him turn. So even if he gets the back when they come back to the feet, if he's on his waist on the back, this is very good for Tynan. It's a positive step in the right direction. And for Tynan, I think
body lock attempt.
One of the keys is just consistency. He doesn't have to be successful at all these. He's still got eight minutes to work, and if he does get to the mount or the cross side, that's going to be a very, very bad position for J-Rod.
You know, a lot of the AOJ guys are very grip
able
dependent.
To get to where he can get past the guard or reverse.
So that's why they don't do too well in
really
Nogi.
Bad place for
nice inversion.
Here he's coming up now. So now
that's a pretty nice move.
Or reverse.
So he hits like a kiss of the dragon. But look what he does with his left arm.
Here he's coming up now. Hip. So now can he thread this right foot back in? Watch out for this. There, he's threaded it back in, but there he got to the top. Now, almost to the top.
He should have stood up.
But it's closer, a little bit closer. So, where J-Rod needs to stay up on the feet and circle.
That's not me
now
breathing in the microphone, guys. I'll prove it.
He can't get his underhooks. It's a big difference when you're down and in with no underhooks. There he's got his underhooks. There. But then Tynan's able to get him out. And this is where J-Rod needs to just start running around. He can run around. If he can't get the underhooks, running around. He's got a deep underhook now on that right side.
It wasn't me breathing, guys. My microphone was up.
And, you know, we talk about Tynan Dalpra. He's competed against the best of the best in the gi. This is only his third no-gi match ever, and he's got a big task at hand. And, you know, 6 minutes, 40 seconds left. He's not winning this match so far.
Yeah.
So it'd be very interesting to see what kind of strategy he plays out in the last bit of this match to get the advantage over J-Rod, which is a very, very tough task.
And strategy, what you just said, is why I am so impressed with Tynan. He wrestled. That's why he's eventually going to be a champion here. He didn't care about saying, you know what, I'm going to sit down and play safe. He wrestled.
For a second. For 5 seconds.
Strategy is out the window. Getting better is what he's focused on. And I think that is why he will be a champion here eventually. Just whether it's, you know, this year, next year, whatever it is, because strategy doesn't have any place when you're technically getting better. Strategy is a way to win. Strategy is your way to impart tactics, which
really
make you
on
win
that 2-on-1,
but it doesn't make you technically better.
Brow drag.
And so he tested himself.
Almost got it.
I think that's very impressive early on. That's one of the reasons why I thought this match would be so fun, is both guys kind of throw strategy and tactics out the window a little bit. And Tynan, basically, I think, because he wants to get
That's
better.
not me, guys, I promise.
And J-Rod just kind of just goes anyway. So.
There's entanglement from Tynan on the leg. Working to the back. Getting to this.
I would like I want to say basic matrix setup. Oh, he threaded the bottom leg in.
Entanglement from Tynan on the leg. Working to the back. Getting to this. Yes. That's exactly the plan. I feel like to get to the controlling position.
That was beautiful. And now he's in good position. I may get shaken off here.
There it is.
The leg again.
Works to the leg again. J-Rod just shucked him off from that position.
Yeah. That
was actually a good match.
But I would say that J-Rod is using a little bit more energy.
Another reverse de la Hiva.
Than Tynan, so.
He can backstep out of that. Yeah, he's
J-Rod just stepping out of these entanglements. Doing a great job.
Row drag. Nice row drag. Nice row drag.
Almost around, but the head
You just got to jump on the arm on that row drag, though.
Tynan's shins are in the way. Whoa, triangle.
Yes.
That was on fast.
It's on fast. So his head position with north-south, which wasn't quite where he wanted to be. Now let's see if he can get into this.
J-Rod, man. J-Rod tough, man.
In
You're not the most technical dude, but
Tynan
you don't need to be the most technical dude.
Yep. It's a little bit looser, but he did a good,
He's doing a good
job of tying up on the legs.
Can he? Oh, he's stuck.
Now he's on top. Now it's trouble.
Buggy choke. They won't let him get a buggy choke.
Pressure. Let's see if we can get around the guard here or through it.
Yeah, don't let the AOJ guys start outside passing you. They're going to jump for the back.
This is where the Rafa Mendes style, fast-paced, controlling the shins with that C grip, moving laterally, side to side. But looking to get that front headlock to control.
AOJ people got no wrestling.
Tynan now kind of in the zone here, doing a much better approach.
I think he's feeling that J-Rod is fading.
Yes.
And now he's starting to get these positions more frequently that is good for him. Now he's in the back. Yeah.
One hook in.
Yeah, I think we're getting near the end here.
Tynan gets both hooks in. Arm around the neck. J-Rod peeling that choke off.
See if Tynan begins to pummel through the hands here and start to actually look to strangle. Right now,
it's not me breathing hard.
With keeping back, getting a little bit of composure, a little rest, eat the clock down a little bit, then I think maybe he'll start to look to submit. 2 minutes, still a lot of time.
It's hard to get out of that body triangle.
So we had one judge's favorite go.
He's doing a good job, though.
Right
it's hard to get out of that body triangle when you're down.
Is dominating.
Yeah. Yeah.
J-Rod started off so aggressive. Beautiful takedown.
You got the escape going, though.
And, you know, we talk about the unlimited gas tank of
J. Rodriguez. That's he's out.
Tynan was able to sort of shut him down for a sec. J-Rod gets out and gets to the top position of Tynan Dalpra. Can he open up the guard and look to attack? Looks like Tynan a little slower on that leg entanglement there.
Let's go.
Yeah, J-Rod trying to use this as an opportunity to pass.
I mean, Tynan, did good control, but it was a lot of basic Kiss of the Dragon, Matrix, calf slice entries, no wrestling.
This will certainly make it interesting.
No wrestle up.
If J-Rod mounts right here,
good back
he's got
still.
that underhook
like
on this side. You put his head on the floor, he can step right over the legs. I mean, right knee can cut through the middle or step right over. He got thrown out there, but 1 minute left. Now that leg's in there again. So J-Rod just missed the head position. Couldn't get the head inside the legs.
Tynan now in the 50-50 position.
That's nice. That was a nice escape. Let me see that. He started pointing his toes as he rolled. That was nice. So he's in the Ashigarami.
Head position. Couldn't get the head inside the legs.
Stands up. Tynan's looking for the leg, but he
Tynan now in the 50-50
spins out of
position.
there.
One of the positions innovated by the Mendez brothers. 43 seconds left. Can J-Rod pass the guard of Tynan Dalpra? Looking for that knee cut here.
Yeah, if he's going to circle all the way to north-south, then he's got to get inside the legs with his head position.
Nice.
There it is.
See, his head is locked out there.
Try bar, though.
And now he's left his arm back, so
he's out.
Looking to get a double understack now. 20 seconds left.
Should've done that
Trying
earlier.
to work.
Should've done that
recovers.
earlier.
Five seconds left. And that is it. The match.
That was a good match, man.
Between.
Yeah, if I'm gonna be Tynan, it's gonna have to be in Nogi. We got about 30 more minutes left, guys. We're gonna get through some stories. This was looking at Tynan. We got Mika over here. Let's watch Mika over here demolish people. These kids are good, bro. I'm telling what they're taking, but they good. Let me do a couple stories first. Voice still ain't ready. No telling what kind of acai they're eating, but Quan, what up, bro? I should be seeing you next week, bro. What if J-Rod joins AOJ? He's homies with them now, isn't he? Maybe. Possible. Talking about AOJ, that's AOJ right there. Hoppa need to come out of retirement. They don't train Nogi though, Quan. So I think Fight Sports probably his best bet. You know, they don't care what you do over there at Fight Sports. You don't need no morality over there. You good. You gonna fit. I think he fits in more at Fight Sports than AOJ. But we'll see. I don't know where he's going. PTF becomes the major league of jiu-jitsu. It's becoming the sport of royalty. Is that true? I don't believe that. The Professional Grappling Federation, PGF, is proud to announce another landmark 7-figure franchise sale with the launch of the Philadelphia Phenoms. This latest expansion further accelerates PGF's rise as the major league of jiu-jitsu while also making... Where's this money going to? While also making history with Lauren Barron stepping in as the league's first female team owner. Barron isn't just an investor, she's an active participant in the sport, regularly training and competing in jiu-jitsu. So Craig Jones needs money. Look at these people giving money left and right to PGF. They're about to lose their investment too. More importantly, she has been deeply involved in the community, bringing the perspective of a dedicated practitioner and passionate supporter. Her ownership reflects both a personal commitment to the art and a vision for helping professional grappling reach new heights. Beyond grateful that this is the path my life has led me down, building a PGF team and becoming part of a league that's reshaping the future of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's beyond humbling to be surrounded by the legends, pioneers, and those who make the magic happen behind the scenes. With the Philly Phenoms, my goal is to build a team with heart, grit, and ferocity, and supported by experienced minds and leaders who know what it takes to compete at the highest levels. One that becomes a serious contender next season. We're bringing that Philly spirit to the PGF, and we're here to make the entire jiu-jitsu community proud. Get ready for the Philly Phenoms to invade PGF. I guess that's next PGF. Zoltan, the guy from Five Finger Death Punch, he says, this is what it must have felt like to get in the ground floor of the NFL or the NHL. The difference is this time the format was engineered for scale from day one. Once we opened the doors to team ownership, the floodgates opened. The New Hope Kings were the first, then the Philadelphia Phenoms. I want a team too. Can I get a team? The Atlanta Aliens, ATL Aliens. Let's go. I just got to fundraise now. I need 7 figures to get my team. Followed by the Alabama Twisters with more already in negotiations. At this pace, we anticipate expanding to 8 to 12 teams in the coming months, which puts us, where are they going to get these athletes? Because the other athletes from PGF Season 8 going to be messed up. They won't be able to do Season 9, which puts us in the firmly on track towards the 16-team National League we originally envisioned. Meanwhile, PGF Season 8 has already shattered expectations, delivering record-breaking engagement and reaching across digital platforms. Jiu-jitsu is the fastest-growing combat sport in the world. I thought wrestling was. And it's becoming the sport of royalty. From everyday people to A-list celebrities like Mark Zuckerberg, Tom Hardy, Keanu Reeves, and Guy Ritchie. Everyone in Moneyberg. Don't forget about Moneyberg. Everyone is on the mats now. PGF is here to harness that momentum and lead jiu-jitsu into professional era. It says franchise growth. Danaher. Who's been sponsoring this? Danaher. Some other people. First Forma. Black Rifle Coffee. Constellation Network. Okay, I don't know. Ownership group. You got Zoltan, the Five Finger Death Punch guy. Keenan, a lawyer dude. Who's that? Oh, video production. Who is this guy? Brandon McCodron. McCaggerin. Heather Gracie. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Mr. J-Rod. We did listen a little bit to J-Rod, but let's see what he's got to say. Got a couple things. We'll click on a couple of these clips, okay?
Issue with aggression sometimes. In a sport where we're trying to strangle people and like break their limbs, I should probably be like, okay, I should take this seriously. So I had to like kind of turn it up, like think,
Okay.
I don't know, envision bad things. Like,
Okay. I didn't know
Yeah.
where you were going with that. You're saying like you have a problem with it, meaning like you can't get aggressive enough.
yeah,
easily.
like I should
I
be
see.
more aggressive.
I
Like,
see.
yeah, that can be an issue, and it's been an issue with my wrestling and yeah, pretty much all my wrestling and grappling. It's just like I have to like, hey, Jay, you're gonna have to like turn it up a little bit. So stuff like that. Remind myself I'm not fighting, but I'm grappling a guy that's gonna try to strangle me unconscious. So that's
Yeah.
something to be aware of. And then be sure I'm bringing that intensity in to the match. And then I'll pray, and maybe before I walk out, like right before I walk out, me and Nick just have like this another like anchor thing that we do, just kind of like slapping each other's hands, and then we walk out. I also have,
Quan love he loved the B team boys. Quan, you missed Craig Jones on the stream, bro. He was on yesterday. I tried to get you on here. You missed him, bro.
Can you
drama.
tell as much as you want from?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So you don't have to cut any of this out. I was understanding at the beginning, and then I was like, what's going on here? I've had nothing but time because I don't train anymore. I can't train in Austin specifically.
Anywhere.
Anywhere worth going to. I'm a nomad.
What is your relationship like right now with Craig? Let's get into the elephant in the room.
Yes, some
Can you
drama.
tell as much as you want from?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So you don't have to cut any of this out.
So this podcast is up. We read some comments. No more fanboying for me. There's no more B team. Whatever their name is. No more. Well, the stream, the podcast is up if you guys want to check it out. Jits and Giggles. I can't cover it too much because they will copyright strike me. So you guys got to watch it.
What's a truck that would have cankles?
Joe. I'm going to give you names of people, and you're going to tell me what car they are. How about Nikki Ryan?
Nikki Ryan. Oh. What's a truck that would have cankles?
Joe.
He might be like a, but it can't be reliable because he's usually pretty injured.
Damn. What breaks down a lot?
Yeah, what breaks down a lot? He would be like a 1993 Mazda. I'm forgetting the name, but it's a Mazda. It looks just like the same year Ford Ranger, but I would assume less reliable.
Okay.
So
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull all these pictures up just so you know and have side by side.
Yes.
And I'm going to draw cankles
for this one,
onto
for the Mazda, do like a rusty red one.
Okay.
That's what
You
he
got
would
it.
be.
I think there's one more. Is that it?
He's a
Nikki
Ford
Ryan.
fucking Raptor. Yeah.
I'm going to give you names of people, and you're going to tell me what
We
car.
saw that. Yeah. Is this the one?
How are you like calming your mind and getting your mindset correct before you're walking out there?
Well, I guess I have a typical routine that I normally do, just for every competition. So kind of like, I guess the term is like anchoring. Do pretty much just the same stuff over time. Some people have like, I don't know, their special underwear that they always wear for every single competition. It's like, for some people it's that type of stuff. For me, I have a specific routine that I do, like an hour and a half or so prior to the match. It also depends, like if it's a tournament or just a super fight. But usually it'll be like an hour and a half to 2 hours. I'll have kind of like a full, like high intensity match almost.
Okay.
And then I cool down from that. I'll probably have like a lot of fruit, honey, electrolytes, water, and then like an hour and a half to like 30 minutes before the match, moving around, kind of going through the motions, not very high intensity, but just kind of like getting reps of like maybe things I plan on doing or things I was doing throughout the camp leading up to this competition, and then cool down from that for a little bit, and then maybe 15-10 minutes before the match, just kind of isolate myself a little bit, crisscross applesauce, close my eyes, maybe I'll pray. I would say I would pray, then I'll pray, and maybe before I walk out, like right before I walk out, me and Nick just have like this another like anchor thing that we do, just kind of like slapping each other's hands, and then we walk out.
All right. That's
How are you
J-Rod.
like calming your mind?
You know, Josiah loves him some Grippo. I'm gonna watch and see. I think Grippo can win Jiu-Jitsu Con, but I don't know about the EBI. Jay and his rod need to take accountability. No more accountability. We saw this already. Tyrone Woodley. Let's go ahead and move my head out the way. Got about 30 minutes, guys. 3 hours. Who else live streaming 3 hours on here, man? Remember, today is Takedown Thursday, so if you guys watching, go do a takedown for me. Tyrone Woodley warns only stars like Conor McGregor will cash in on the UFC $7.7 billion deal. Quan, is your cousin getting some of that $7.7 billion? He says, because unless you're a champion defending your belt, unless you're Conor or another star that's bringing a lot of eyeballs to the fight, you're not in a position to get the pay-per-view anyway. Your purse is going to be your purse. Willie argues a lack of fighter star power is also why they lack leverage. Quan is he's got to defend UFC. I love it too. Defend UFC, Quan. Defend the UFC. It's like they would have something to gain if they banded together. If only there was an existing solution in other major sports. Quan, do you support a union for UFC fighters, Quan? Quan, I'd be going hard on Quan. I love Quan. He's my boy. But I'm going to go hard on him. UFC fighters would see this sentence as a threat and beat you up and give you a nookie because you teaming up with other dudes. Because teaming up with other dudes is, we call it rainbow friendly over here. Nookie means, okay, let me not say that. Noogie. He's right. It's simple. You're not in the position to ask for more money. So you settle. If an unranked asks for a raise, Dana will just replace him. Prime Connor demands one, and they'll have to put up with him. If only all the fighters could somehow acquire more leverage by banding together. Sadly, no such concept exists. Well, they're private contractors, so they technically aren't employees, so I'm not sure how they could band together. People will continually criticize fighters for taking raises and speaking out against unions, but it's always easy to throw stones when you're not the one in that position. Let's see you turn down tripling your salary. Well, yeah, they're not gonna. We never said fighters were smart. They're not gonna turn down that triple their salaries, 3x their salary. They're gonna take that. They're making $10,000. They're gonna go to $30,000. Tripling. Let's see you turn down tripling your salary if your boss comes to you and singles you out. At the end of the day, there's only one person in the game you're loyal to, and that's you. But ultimately, you're gonna suffer because you were selfish and had no foresight. Same exact stuff when people criticize the PGA Tour players for going over live. I don't know what that is. These are professional athletes who all have the same ultimate goal, which is to make the best living possible. No one in the UFC is getting their salary tripled. At the end of the day, there's only one person in the game you're loyal to, and that's you. And that is why everyone, including you, loses in the end. That's true. They're all going to lose. Sorry, Quan. Fighters are so easy to take advantage of. They don't help. They're all in it for themselves. That's just the nature of the sport. It's very individualistic. And then, they're going to suffer by themselves. Additionally, fighting is an individual sport. That's not the same sense of camaraderie as a team sport. Each time they step into the ring, they are actively looking to take money away from their opponent. I wish the fans would give up the dreams of fighters ever banding together. It died a long time ago. Yeah, they won't work together. It says the more value you provide, the more leverage you have. Well, the UFC, the more value you provide, the more money they make, and less money they're going to give to you as a percentage. It's not the same even in the industry. The UFC is reporting record revenue year after year, and the fighters are still stuck on one. Win, loss, pay. 2, Yeah, they still get the same win or loss pay. 2, $50K bonuses from the 2000s. $50K, what does $50K mean? 3, getting 10 and 10 to fight as a new guy from Dana White Contender Series. People have been getting 10 and 10 for how long? Since the 2000s. Them people that was fighting in the 90s in the UFC made more money. They would get, how much did Royce Gracie get? 150K back then? Royce Gracie got 50K, which was like $100,000 by today's standards or something like that. Or maybe it was 100K. I don't remember. It was worth a lot more money back then than now. Why would any future athletes with potential want to come to MMA? I say don't do it. When they can go to any other sport, get paid more, and not have permanent brain damage and no support after retiring. Most sports have plans for post-career. MMA, get a day job. In fact, most of your favorite MMA fighters have a day job. They work a 9 to 5. We saw the story with the Chinese girl. She still works as a doctor. She's smart. She knows this UFC stuff ain't going to pay off. UFC will cut you in a heartbeat. He's doing great. But that stuff changes though, right? Stuff will change. I bet once you out the UFC, they don't care about you no more. Quan has to defend UFC guys. He gonna defend them. Even with all the evidence in the world. Quan, I love you, Quan. I'm gonna go after you though. MMA is much smaller and they just got $7 billion. We saw how much money they got. How much of that $7 billion are the fighters gonna get, Quan? I don't know much about unionization or the fighter pay thing, but I don't see my cousin complaining. Well, you can't complain, Quan. The only time fighters complain is when they start making a lot of money and they realize how much money they should have made. The people making 10 and 10 ain't complaining. He's won multiple fight performance bonuses, so I guess that helps. Yeah, but he's probably not getting his value worth. 50K, awesome, amazing. He should have been making probably way more money. That bonus ain't nothing but like a little. I mean, I'm sure it's nice. I'll take $50K. But when these guys are supposed to be making $200, $500K, they're supposed to be making that much money probably. UFC's making that much money. That's how much. I'm sorry, Quan. Your cousin, he doing good now. But man, things change. It's every time you fight, there's a chance you lose, right? What happens when you don't win? UFC, well, you know what? We're gonna cut you. You're not gonna get a bonus this time. They control everything. And everybody's fighting their heart out. Nobody that's fighting is going out there and not prepared. Everybody's preparing and trying their best. MMA is much smaller and much more niche than most major sports. A ton of athletes outside of major sports do have day jobs. Not in America. What are you talking about, bro? Because they legit don't pay that much. Well, if your sport is on a major news network or streaming service and you're not making that much money, I don't know what else to say. I'd go out on a limb and guess that most sports leagues worth this many billions of dollars don't have athletes with day jobs. You're comparing MMA to like Major League Lacrosse as if the UFC didn't just sign a $7 billion media rights deal. All I'm asking, Quan, is if these fighters are getting a little bit of that $7 billion. And I'm afraid that it's probably no. That's crazy. You over there struggling as a fighter, and Daddy Dana he got a good bonus. You know Dana White got a good bonus. He got a good percentage off that $7 billion. And them fighters are probably not going to see nothing. They just inked a deal worth $7.7 billion. In what universe should the athletes whose back they got this deal off of be working part-time jobs? Most of them fighters working part-time jobs, or they got a school, they're teaching, or they're bouncing, driving Uber Eats, DoorDash, bouncing, bartending, construction work. Mighty Mouse was doing construction work for a long time. Yeah, Mighty Mouse was doing construction. And he was UFC champion. He over there doing construction. UFC didn't care. You think they paid him his worth? It's hilarious how we just support the athletes being treated like crap. The lowest paid MLB player gets $760K, for instance, a year. That's wild. MLB. You think that's fair, Quan? The lowest paid MLB player gets $760K. Lowest paid UFC fighter lucky to take home $10,000 after getting their brain turned to mush. Regardless, they are very obviously dramatically underpaid, and the win show money is a blatant scam. So, whatever you guys ask me about UFC BJJ, I'm against UFC as an organization. I support the fighters. I love the fighters. I don't like Dana White. I don't like what they've done with the sport. I don't like how they monetize the sport but not giving anything back. And, I don't like how they treat the athletes once they're done with them. Other organizations have tried to pay more and they all go bankrupt. UFC put them out of business. If it's so easy to pay fighters more and still make millions yourself, you're free to go. If your company has to withhold money to the fighters to survive, and that's just how it's going to be, maybe you shouldn't exist. Edwin says, look at what happened to the Chris M. Who's that? The guy who fought O'Malley a few years back. He got several chances and lost all of his fights in UFC. He must be working at the paint factory still. Even if you lose, you're still generating wealth. You're still generating revenue for the UFC. Win or lose, the UFC is going to win. It's just the fighter. The fighters, the only people losing. The only people out there losing are the fighters. And they're the product. The only reason you watching the UFC is because of the fighters. I'm trying to figure out exactly why the UFC needs to have all the revenue. For reference, I believe the NFL and NBA, the revenue split is or profit split is 50. What's up, John? Happy Takedown Thursday. The UFC is probably 10%. The lack of star power comes from the fact the UFC doesn't promote the fighters. The fighters have to build themselves. Not only do you have to build yourself up, but you're not getting paid to build yourself up. You're not going to get that pay-per-view anymore. How do you feel about that, Quan? No more pay-per-view. How's your cousin going to make some real money without the pay-per-view? Is he only going to have to rely on the bonus that Dana White can just give or take whenever he wants? Dana White is 100% to blame for the current state of the UFC and its lack of mass appeal. Dana White need to retire. At some point, we have to admit most champs and fighters don't have the thing that makes people care. Well, the skill is, personality, storytelling, anything that can be created. The storylines. You think most of those NFL players got a good storyline? They can't even talk. It says you can promote someone like Ankalaev, I can't say that, or Aspinall as much as you want, but their mic skills are not captivating and their interviews are dry. People need to drop the McGregor comparisons. He was the severe outlier. You can't create a global superstar out of Aspinall or Patoya. I can't say his name. McGregor became a superstar because he was simply naturally amazing on the mic in every scenario. He dressed great and made people laugh. He came up with stuff on the spot that would end up going super viral. McGregor is the exception, not the rule. Chris Mutino. Okay. Can compare team sports revenue to UFC fighter revenue. People buy jerseys, home games. What do fighters sell? Well, whose fault is that? UFC controls all the apparel stuff. UFC partners with these companies, and I think the fighters do make a little percentage. I never seen anybody wear a UFC jersey. I'm sure if they made some shirts or something, people would. Again, that goes back to the UFC. They got to make products that people want to buy. I ain't seen no shorts or rash guard, nothing from fighter. Nothing wrong with driving Uber or on it. No, I'm not saying that. But when you're trying to become a professional fighter, Quan, is that the best use of their time? Quan, you saw a lot of the fighters at Fusion working like at bars and stuff. I respect that, but I'm saying if you're in the UFC, take your cousin for instance. Your cousin doesn't have time to do another job, does he? He needs to be focusing on fighting. Right? He needs to focus on fighting. If you're in the UFC, you went through the Contender Series and you make it to the UFC, you should be able to focus solely on the UFC. I respect honest work. But if you're a professional fighter, you're a professional fighter, this is you might, live or die out there. You need to be focusing 100% on that. Like, how are you going to do anything else if you're training? You got to train wrestling, boxing, jiu-jitsu, strength and conditioning. You don't have any more energy. You shouldn't have any more energy for anything else, really. And I think the UFC should pay these people to the point where they can focus full time on their craft. Yeah, the UFC does. The whole point is that the UFC doesn't pay people enough. I keep saying that. People argue with me. Well, you can't compare the UFC to other revenue sports. You can't blah, 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 whatever. Not when the UFC got $7 billion. They ain't giving none of that money to those fighters. And I'm the only one upset. You guys are like, well, upside with working with UFC for the fighters is the platform shows them to get seen. That's true. Fighters got to do all the work themselves. The UFC will show you on the screen. You still got to talk and do stuff for yourself, and they can brand themselves easier. I saw a payout report of UFC 319. They got Venom bonuses. How much was that? $5,000. $5,000. How much was the Venom bonus? Is Venom a big company, guys? Is Venom Reebok wasn't a big company. They can't get no Nike sponsorship, no Adidas sponsorship. How much money you think Venom ain't bringing in no money? Also, they provide all fighters with health care and nutrition and meals. How Do they provide healthcare for the whole year, Quan, or do they provide the fighters with healthcare after their fight for about 30 to 60 days? I mean, isn't that the bare minimum? I don't think there would be MMA anymore if there wasn't UFC. Because they killed everybody. That's the whole point. They killed everybody off. They had their feeder programs, LFA, Cage Fury. Well, you go to UK, they got is it Cage Warriors? What they got over there? They got something over there. I think they're still Ryzen, one championship in Asia. There's still some organizations. UFC bought out some of the best organizations. They bought out WEC. What was the other one? There were some other ones they bought out. I can't remember. WEC for sure they bought out. You guys complain about, I'm telling you, the UFC killed all the competition and then don't want to pay nobody. I'm telling you, UFC is the problem. How much was that Venom about? 4K. Okay, is that what 4K? Get out of here, bro. Gordon Ryan won't even take that for $4,000. How much? Okay, now Patrick, hello, welcome to the show. How much were fighters making before the UFC forced the fighters to wear the uniforms? How much did fighters get? You guys forgot fighters used to wear their own sponsors. Fighters used to get their own sponsors, and they would put the sponsors on their shorts and on their little banner, and they would make $100,000, $200,000. At the end of the day, even top paid NFL players will end up broke after a few years. They still got their pension though, Quan. They still got a pension. UFC, you ain't getting no pension. Healthcare gone. No mental health. If they aren't smart with money, yeah. And fighters for sure ain't smart. These are UFC fighters who don't make a fraction, and they do great after. Those guys were smart enough to invest their money. Yeah, well, they invested in real estate and whatever else. They were smart to do that. Tell me how you're investing $10,000. All right, I'm giving you $10,000. You still got to pay your coach and rent and car and food. All right, invest your $10,000 now. That $10,000 gone. Quan, I know how fast do you think you would spend $10,000, Quan? If we gave you $10,000. That $10,000 be gone to the house and the wife and kids and dogs. That $10,000, Quan, you wouldn't get no percentage of that $10,000. $10,000 gone in a flash. It says it's the fighter's responsibility to make the best use of their earnings. I'm just arguing that they, in fact, are not getting their full earnings. The UFC is not for sure not righteous, but I'm saying that the UFC is not giving the fighters their true worth. Paying people 10 and 10. How are you still paying people 10 and 10 after 20 years? How? They never heard of inflation? It's the fighter's responsibility, yeah. Well, I'm saying that the fighters, they won't come together, but because, UFC actively keeps the fighters from coming together. All right, Quan's cousin, I'm going to triple your salary, but don't support that union, okay? The worst was when Dana moved the John Jones event to California on the fly, and all the fighters were on the hook for taxes in California. Did Dana White care? No. He didn't care. He still made his money. He's good. John Jones still made some money, right? Now, the average fighter, the regular fighter, is losing out. They lost out on the taxes. They got to travel. I'm sure hopefully they cover the travel costs. I'm just saying that the UFC is not a genuinely, most corporations don't operate genuinely. But as far as all the major sports, NFL, NHL, NBA, MLS, if you're a good enough athlete, I say don't go to the UFC. It's just honest. There's better ways to make money. It's almost better to make your money the honest way, working hard, than to go to the UFC. Because why are you going to let yourself get screwed over by Dana White, of all people? You guys don't complain about how much net worth Dana White got. And you guys complain about me saying that fighters should get more money. Dana White has $500 million net worth. I never seen him throw a punch or take a punch. You're telling me some of that money shouldn't have gone to the fighter? That's all fighter money right there. That $500 million should have been to the fighters. But you guys keep supporting the UFC. I'm over here advocating for UFC. They provide while they are on contract the healthcare. Yeah, but that's a couple fights though, Quan. How long does that last? 2 fights, 3 fights, 4 fights, 6 fights. Yeah, that ain't what happened when they drop you. You lose your healthcare, Quan. The guy that beat Buchecha, does he still have healthcare? The guy that Dana White said was boring and not exciting that they cut after he won. Does he still have healthcare? I don't know. The UFC needs to unironically hire retired WWE stars as consultants to teach their fighters how to cut a promo and market themselves. Yeah, they should probably. The UFC needs to, the press conferences nowadays are like 10 minutes long, so it's highly unlikely we even discover new personalities. I mean, I seen more Nina Marie than I've seen fighters. Why they got to show Nina Marie all over the place? And I don't even see a fighter. They ain't got no real journalists. If only Dana White waved his hands, someone like Tom Aspinall would make people buy his pay-per-views by the billions. He just doesn't want to because that would make Aspinall a star, and Dana is hoarding all of that for himself. Yeah, why your CEO got to be all up in the videos? First place. What do you mean first place? What do you mean by that, Quan? I don't understand. Dang, bro, you lose healthcare whenever you get fired from it. That's true. Well, that's America. I'm not going to defend America out here. That's true. At the end of the day, everybody needs to be smart with your money. Yeah. Well, you guys can't be upset when less and less athletes go to the UFC. I think you're gonna see less and less. Why would an athlete, if you're a good enough athlete, why would you go to the UFC? You might as well play baseball. You're gonna make way more money playing baseball, and you're gonna have a pension. Well, most people don't have a pension, right? Who said that you lose your health care? Most people don't have a pension in some of these companies. Professional athletes definitely deserve a pension. Does anybody disagree with me? If you're out there taking brain damage, I feel like you deserve some pension. Of course, they should get paid more, but everyone wants to get paid more. Yeah, but they're literally out there killing themselves, Quan. Are you out there killing yourself, Quan? I mean, maybe working hard, you might kill yourself, but I mean, they might literally die out there. Can someone make a Dana White meme? Alec was never my friend. Yeah, if you're out there about to die out there, Dana White gonna profit off your death. You're gonna die out there, and they're gonna keep playing the highlight video if you get knocked out. All I'm saying is without the UFC, I don't think these fighters would even be wanting to do MMA. I'm saying that they don't. I'm saying that a lot of these athletes not gonna go to MMA route. Now you're gonna continue to have some crazy people. That's all they can do. You know, for sure you're gonna have some crazy people. But look at the people at Slap Fight. The fact that the UFC created Slap Fight tells me everything I need to know. And that's the worst sport ever created. I know for sure they're going to get sued for creating Slap Fight. I ain't never heard nobody defend Slap Fight. You going to defend Slap Fight, Quan? I'm telling people not to go do MMA or fight MMA. I don't think it's worth your time. Unless you're just super violent or aggressive like the Rotulos, they can go. Let's see. It lacks mass appeal. They just signed a $7 billion contract. You're just ignorant and bitter. It's a big contract for sure, but once you compare it to actual mass appeal sports, it's a fraction. NFL is $110 billion over 11 years. NBA is $76 billion over 11 years. UFC is a fraction of what the major sports are doing. That might have been what he meant by mass appeal. Yeah, the UFC's, they got a lot more fighters and less money, so I don't see the point in fighting. You might as well box a influencer. You got to make more money fighting an influencer in boxing. exhibition match than you will in UFC. So I'm hoping the fighters get smarter about that. If they were unhappy with the way he was doing things, he would be gone. They don't have a choice. This is the thought out strategy to sell a brand and ideology instead of individual fighters. I agree, and so does TKO. I'd mentioned they don't view it as a negative thing. They just signed a massive TV deal to expand the reach of their product to unprecedented levels and to get it out from behind a massive limiting paywall. I literally don't understand your lack of mass appeal comment. It's just not tethered to reality. Why would Paramount pay UFC $7.7 billion? I don't know. It's funny how so many people are going, if only, when all 300 attempts at starting a union, a trade association, or something all ended with nothing happening. Even the one where GSP said this is good for the sport ended up with him going, sorry, it must have been mistranslated to me. English is my second language. I'm from Montreal. Fighters don't want it, period, and never will. Well, these fighters are very easy to take advantage of, and honestly, the UFC's been profiting off taking advantage of these people. In fact, a lot of these guys they definitely need some mental evaluations, but a lot of these people need therapy. Fighters don't want it, period, and never will. Boxing doesn't have one. While boxers don't have any of that stuff, they did have some legislation. I remember the Ali Act, not off the top of my head. Pro wrestling doesn't have one. Kickboxing doesn't have one. Let's look up the Ali Act real fast. Oh, it says Sugar Sean was supposed to be the next big star. He had the look, the name, and the highlight reel KOs, but lacked the personality and charisma to become a true star. Then they got lucky with Alex Pereira and Chama catching on for a while, but him losing seems to have chilled the hype there. Well, the UFC won't have any more stars. They can't afford no more stars. America's pretty awesome, though. Not when you don't have money, Quan. I guess nowhere. Quan, I can't argue with Quan. He loved the UFC. So let's look at the Ali Act real fast. It says the Muhammad Ali Boxing Reform Act, or the Ali Act, is a U.S. federal law enacted in 2000 to protect professional boxers from unethical practices within the boxing industry. It aims to prevent exploitation, conflicts of interest, and promote transparency and fair competition. The act also empowers state boxing commissions to oversee the sport and protect boxers' rights. So the fact that you have to create laws to protect boxers, and I don't think that even really covers the MMA fighters and stuff. And UFC, I'm not going to defend UFC. You know, Quan is the UFC representative here. If they don't want to pay, I assure you, if they weren't paying his cousin, though, ask your cousin, is he happy? Quan, go ask your cousin, hey man, are you happy with the UFC? And your cousin just got in the UFC how many years? 2 or 3 years ago? Ask your cousin if he's happy with his UFC contract. Have you seen his UFC contract, Quan? Go look at his UFC contract and let me know what's up. You're going to be like, dang, cuz, you signed that thing? That's all you getting, cousin? Go ask him. I hate slap fight. Well, UFC created that. And it just they taking advantage of all these people, really, especially in slap fight. But they take advantage of the fighters. These jiu-jitsu people can't read, and I don't know if the MMA people can read. Quan, go ask your cousin to see his contract. And I'm gonna ask you about it when I see you in person, Quan. All right, guys. I think did I see everything? It's been about 3 hours. Hey, Mackenzie. Hey, we do like Mackenzie Dern on this channel, respectfully. Hello. We about to get out of here, guys. What's up? Do you need a stepfather? I can't be a stepdaddy though. Masters Worlds, we ain't covering that. I ain't covering nothing else, bro. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else I missed. There's a lot of stuff I missed. I just don't have the time or energy anymore. I'm tired. Is there anything important? Anything important? I'm trying to see. Quan, I know you gotta defend UFC. It's fine. All I ask is that you check out your cousin's UFC contract. You go see that contract and be like, dang, cuz. Let me pull this up. Dana White. You guys know I don't like Dana White. I met him one time.
And, I am too. Oh, shit. Mr. President.
How are you, sir? Yeah. I can hear you perfect.
Of course, right when we start the fucking podcast.
It's okay. We're good to go.
Hey, you can just say what just happened. That was pretty cool.
Just a phone call from the president, right?
For
real
That
calls.
will never happen again the rest of our lives.
You know what's kind of funny?
Ever.
So I've been,
I am too. Oh, shit. Mr. President.
How are you, sir? Yeah. I can hear you perfect.
Of course, right when we
business
start the
never
fucking
stops.
podcast.
It's okay. We're good to go.
Hey, you can just say what just happened. That was pretty cool.
Just a phone call from the president, right? For real
That
calls.
will never happen again the rest of our lives.
You know what's kind of funny?
Ever.
So I've been,
Quan, how do you feel when Dana White wastes like $200,000 at the casino and you see fighters making $10,000, 10 and 10? How do you feel about that, Quan? I just wonder. I see that behavior all the time with Dana White, and I just wonder how you guys feel about that. I feel terrible because I know them fighters ain't seen that money. Them fighters got to work 2 and 3 jobs. Dana White over there wasting money. He never took a punch in his life. They said he used to be a boxing coach or something. I ain't seen him fight in the UFC. So I don't know, man. You guys continue to defend the UFC. I'm not going to. I'm never going to defend the UFC over here. I don't care if they go out of business. Screw them. UFC, MMA could just become a sport, like jiu-jitsu, amateur sport. All right, guys, that's it. I'm tired. You know I was ranting. As soon as I rant, I go over time. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching the channel. We'll be on here tomorrow later, probably past 5 or 6 Eastern time. Today is Takedown Thursday. Go for a takedown. Go do a double leg. Go do a Uchimata, Kochigari, Harai Goshi, something judo based or wrestling based. That's basically it. If you guys want to support the channel, let people know about the live stream. We're on here Monday through Friday. Remember when he was supposed to box Tito Ortiz? Yeah, that would have been amazing. I don't even remember that, but I still want to see it. But yeah, you guys want to support the channel, like I said, let people know about the live stream. Or share the clips or whatever you guys see. That's it. We'll be on Friday for Fitness Friday. You guys know it. Anything else? That's it I can think of. Next week, CJI. I'll be out there. Maybe we can get Craig Jones on this live stream. You guys want to see Craig Jones? I'm not saying I can. We'll get somebody on the live stream. And that's it, guys. I'm done. I'm tired. See you guys tomorrow, God willing. Stay safe. Be healthy. Work hard, work smart. Don't sign no UFC contracts without reading them. Quan, I want you to look at your cousin's contract and let me know what's going on with that. Train some judo on Thursday. Yeah, there we go. Do some judo. Keep judo alive, man. Judo dying over here. I ain't got no updates on judo. What they doing in judo?